All right, I got the notification that the Google Hangout is now live. I'd like to say thank you and good evening to everyone tuning in. Not sure why I'm talking like a radio host, but yeah. So tonight, everybody, just want to say thanks to Josh Swift, runs the channel Authentic Intent. We're gonna be just having a casual chat because we haven't had the opportunity to meet just as yet. But we're gonna get to know each other a little bit and have a little fun. So I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. Let me get this thing set up and I'll get in the chat, say what's up.
What's up, chat?
What's up, people in the chat? Oh man. All right, who we got here? All right, I see Molly Lassiter. How you doing? Uh HME ENT. Let me turn this thing down. All right. Let me see. GTR2. What's up? Chase of BABT. Shanna Hania. Where y'all at? What's going on? Trevor. Shanna. Kermit. Kermit 2.0. That's awesome. All right. All right. One Raven. What's happening? Thanks for coming out. Z Proxy. What's up? Brandon McCullen. What's going on? Hey, Miss Jones. How you doing? All right, Cindy Pritchard, Amanda Effie, my man Ron Hadberg's in the house, Craig Oliver, Flat Earth, New Zealand, that is. Hey, Melissa, how you doing? I got True Seeker Mafia 36. What's happening? All right, so yeah, don't want to take too much time. Then we got Authentic Intent in the chat and on camera. That's crazy.
I know, right?
All right,
Who would
folks.
have thought?
So yeah, Miss Empress in the house. What's going on? I hadn't seen you in a while. How you been? Weed Smith. All right. Hope all is well with you, Miss Empress. Return Cat Size. What's going on? Dre Day. And everybody singing. Flat Earth Friends. What's up? Slim Suits. What's good? What's good? All right. So we got my man Joshua Swift. How you doing, man?
Man, it's been a long time. I've been watching you for a long time, and I can't thank you enough for all the input that you've put into it. I love how you go about your business in your own way. You are Daryl Marble. You're not anybody else, and that spirit level test. That provokes a lot of thought, and I'm really glad that you go out and you do something, because I'm not an observational person, like
Yeah.
when I first heard about flat earth, something like 3 years ago, Eric Dubay, 300 proofs, right? 200 proofs.
Mm-hmm.
And then water just got to me, and then when I saw that picture over, to Chicago, 50, 60 miles, that was it, man. And it just was like, I don't need observational proof. Like I wouldn't even need to go out and take a picture of it, because I know in my heart what water does in our reality. And when you go out and you do Alaska and you drive around in your van and you do your thing, I appreciate your work, So
Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Well, thank you. I'm just doing what I can. I believe we all have a role in this whole awakening, this whole flat Earth movement. People don't like to call it a movement. I like movement because
really.
I feel like it's expanding, it's growing, and we're reaching a lot of people, man. So we all have a role to play, and I found myself in a position where I can do a little more traveling, do more hands-on stuff, and reach different audience than who was here before me, for the most part. So that I'm just trying to play my position as best I can, man. And I got lots of respect for you and what you do, man. It's like you hit the scene hard last year, and I watched a lot of your stuff. You're all over the place, just with the activism, just hardcore. I seen you what you do so many different places. I remember one specifically, I believe you kind of crashed a tour at I think it was like a state capitol building or something. There was some kids on a field trip or something like that. Like, here,
Yeah.
can you tell the people about that one?
Trolls love that. They love it when you're in public property and you start talking to children indirectly. Like, I'm just speaking out loud. Santa Claus doesn't exist. You might want to talk to your parents about Santa Claus.
Right.
But no, when you know where the youth of this generation are going to be at, I feel that's the most important generation for us to hit because we were all once children.
Hmm.
30 years ago, I was 7 years old. So if I had ever had somebody come in to my classroom while I'm sitting in, second, third grade, and somebody says, "Hey, Santa Claus doesn't exist," I don't know what I would do. Like I don't know what I would do. And so that's what flat earth activism really does is you're hanging out with a bunch of yes men, three-piece suit, paying your taxes, going about your business, and then you can go home later and watch The Voice. But when somebody comes up to you and talks about flat earth in your own environment, like you're not expecting it and you're just going about your business, what better place to talk about something as controversial? And really it's just about free speech, what you can
Hmm.
and can't question in the state capitol. And I would love to have 50 or 60 people who are flat earthers. You don't have to be comfortable talking about flat earth in public. If wearing a t-shirt or handed out business cards to your waitress, if that's your thing, hey, by all means go for it. But you might have to come out and just hold a sign or come out
Yeah.
and just be present while, four or five other people are talking because the state capitol is a really good place to, influence the political game. You
Yeah,
know,
absolutely. And yeah, okay, so you are all about the activism, and I'm feeling like that's kind of the next step that I'd like to take. I need to get better at, organizing meetups and trying to coordinate with people in the local area to do these things myself. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I got stuff written on the side of the van. Yes,
yeah,
I actually do have a lot of conversations with people about flat Earth. I just don't whip out the phone and start recording, as
yeah,
quickly as I could. Um, but yeah, that's something I'd like to get into, man. So you, Zoom Truth, David over there on the East Coast, my man Rich Lopez, he's out there, Times Square. Um, the UK crew, Roxanne, there was Jason, the Dinsbury family, John Smith, Globely, Harry, those guys, they just finished an 8-week tour over in the UK, and they changed the game over there, man. They dropped so many red pills about flat Earth just in that short period of time because I mean they had. Did you hear about those guys? They had the RV and they put the stickers all over it, and
it was
hit like
wonderful.
50 some different cities, man. That was off the hook. So
Yeah,
yeah, I definitely want to. I need to get them on for a type of hangout, but there's that 8-hour time difference. But yeah, they're hardcore, man, for that one. And the stuff that you do as far as the activism, that's very respectful, man. You have my utmost respect for that stuff, man. I can tell you that.
I appreciate that. And it's not about going on camera, guys. In the chat, if you're watching this later, hey, I just, I don't want it to be about me, or, I don't want to put out the camera. I talk to people about flat Earth all the time. I hear that all the time. Great, that's
Mhm.
awesome. The reason why I started doing it on camera is because I wanted that to be a testimony of how the public reacts to this topic.
Yep.
And how because people want to call people brainwashed and sheep and globe heads and so on, and I wanted to go out and get a real feel for these terms and find out how brainwashed are people. And by taking the video out and feeling confident about what I knew at then, 19 20 months ago, to what I know now, I have the utmost confidence to talk to anybody on or off camera. A second reason why I did it on camera is, for my own protection.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to see what capabilities we have for free speech in public, on YouTube, on Facebook, private entities, because I know what my laws are. I feel like I know what my laws are, right? What I could get away with in
Right.
public without the camera,
Right.
you
Right.
know. But there are particular, feelings that people get when they see a camera in their face some people don't care. Other people think it's invasion of privacy, even though you're on public property. And, you kind of get over that. But another reason, too, is it's it's a way for other people to learn the do's and don'ts of talking to people about flat Earth.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that I do well? Take it as your own, use it, polish it up for your own, and what you don't like, throw it away. If I say something, if I believe the Bible is true, right? And I believe that Jesus Christ is our savior as the human race. That's just how I feel.
Okay.
Once people get over that, which I have a lot of people who totally disagree with that, have sent me paraphernalia, t-shirts with my YouTube channel on it, like Jim Lotus, for example. He's a great
Mm-hmm.
guy. He doesn't follow along with it, and I don't necessarily agree with that, but he sees my passion come through when he watches, and he can put my faith and my beliefs aside, and we can traverse up to Washington D.C. and try to change the educational system. But I guess my point really with flat Earth activism and doing it on camera was to help you guys out, to help YouTube, to help the people out there who just don't have that type of confidence to talk to the public. Their waitress, right? I mean, you just ham it up with your waitress and talk to them. And then you get a better understanding of what people will always come up with. And it's really the same things. We've all heard the same
Right.
3 or 4 arguments these people come up with, right?
True story.
So
Yeah. Very true. Nothing new under the sun when dealing with the global believers. I can tell you that.
yeah. Yep, exactly. So
Yeah, man. Oh, shout out to Mrs. Jones, China. Sure appreciate you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I've been meaning to get in contact with you for a while, man. So here, let's backtrack a little bit.
yeah.
So how did you come across flat Earth in the first place, man?
Well, it's just funny how things work. In 2015, from January up until August, so 8 months in 2015, I was in Thailand and I was teaching English. I was pretty into Alex Jones at the time. Like I was
Oh,
listening to, right? Like I was
yeah.
into a lot of stuff. I was into, black goo and chemtrails. I got a list. I mean, I got a kind of a list. I put together kind of a summary and some notes, about what I'm going to talk about at the conference. But I was into all that stuff, and I was into a lot of people that we would deem now as, yeah, I use them to get to where I'm at, but I wouldn't listen to Alex Jones for 2 hours if you paid me, type of deal.
Right.
So I get back, and then later on, 2015, I'm listening to, some video about something, on YouTube. And it goes into the recommendations and autoplay, and it came up to Eric Dubé's 200 Proofs. And that pretty much set it off right there. Took me, a couple of weeks or so, maybe a month, to really just fall for flat Earth and just be like, wow, I can't believe it. Like, I kind of feel like I got that sense of, why didn't anybody tell me this before?
Yeah.
I never thought to think the Earth was flat. I never thought that the picture that I have on my screensaver was a drawing of the
Mm-hmm.
Earth from outer space.
Right.
I mean, it was quite
Right.
embarrassing personally. And I just felt like, I just never had the opportunity. What if I knew this like 10 years ago? Where would I be? So I kind of went through that. But then I got into like, forests, Mandela effect, and I got onto, all these other different conspiracies that came up after flat Earth. But I kept going back to flat Earth. And I feel like the 9/11 truth movement is kind of waiting for us to give up, like they gave up 4 or 5 years after 9/11.
Oh yeah, that's not going to happen. Not
it's
at
not
all.
it's not going to happen.
No.
But I do feel like that type of, truth quote movement, community, or whatever it was, they did help a lot of us springboard into having that open mind and just that sense of distrust of the people that are above us. And and that we elected 2 days ago, right?
Yep. Hmm.
Nothing's changed in the last 18 years.
True story.
Since then, I mean, it's gotten worse. Clearly, we see what's happening on YouTube with, today's event. And I just, after hearing Mandela effect and no forest on trees and, mountains or tree stumps, I just got back to flat Earth, and I just felt like I was bottling up everything that I had experienced just really over my lifetime, but just maybe in the last 5 years, and building up to go to Thailand and teach English, that I quit my job on 4/20 of 2017.
Nice.
Yeah, and I thought it was kind of a funny day to quit. And then 2 days later after that was Earth Day, April 22nd, 2015.
Hmm.
And that was the, Bill Nye was promoting his March for Fake Science idea.
I remember that.
Yeah, so they had 10,000 of those people at my state capitol. And that was my first time that I did, open air activism on camera. And y'all can come by and check that out if you want. But, you can definitely see, from there has been significant progression. And we are seeing results, because now we're seeing people here in America be active. And those guys over in the UK, Dell, Roxanne, Trinity 4, and of course, John Smith Globeli, Harry, it is so overwhelming to know that there are other people that are passionate about this topic, and that this is
Hmm.
the topic that every human being should have settled in their heart. You're either globe or you're flat earth, and then you just move on to the next person, you know? So we just got to get people come through the turnstile, globe or flat earth, and decide, because I think that once we have the masses choosing globe or flat earth, it's going to get to a point where either the establishment gets tired of our flat earth games and these conferences, and you guys need to just break it up. Like, what are
Yeah.
you doing with this? This
Yeah. Yeah.
is funny business. Or it's going to be like we did, 50 years ago with the civil rights movement. Are people willing to go to jail for flat earth?
Yeah. I mean, it's eventually going to come to something like that, or there's going to have to be some sort of massive distraction in order to kind of throw us off the trail. But I mean, one way or another, it's going to come to a head, because this is not going away. This is not going away. We are not just going to vanish, go quietly into the night. Every day, more people are becoming, aware of this and getting excited about sharing the information. And like you said, some of it comes from just being upset about being lied to. That's my main thing. I'm
Right.
like, really? Really? You've been telling me I live on a globe all this time? All this time. I'm walking
Yeah.
around 30 some years thinking I'm on a freaking globe. And then come to find out that was all a lie. So, I mean, it kind of breaks down the foundations of all that you thought you knew. And then you have to go back and just kind of restart. And a lot of people don't want to go there. But, you know, for whatever reason, we were able to see it. And that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Being part of this whole thing. So I'm really appreciative to be part of this whole consciousness shift, and work alongside people like yourself, getting out there, passionate about spreading the information, man.
Yeah, appreciate that. I think that there is a sense, there is still a sense of policing in this community, the Commonwealth of Flat Earth, where I had a chat. I was in Jay Dreamer's chat earlier today, and Steven, if you're watching, hello. Kind of had a little back and forth with this person, and it was just kind of like, flat Earth activism is, what term did they use? It was just aggressive. It was just like, it's not either flat Earth or you're going to hell, type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a sense about flat Earth activism where you're talking to the public, especially if you're on camera and you're being policed by other people who are watching your material. if it's something that isn't just meant for you to do, people in the community are going to say something, so over a period of time, I think that we will have honed in on what people are, what their role is, because I can't be an eye if I'm supposed to be an ear. You
True.
can't try to play different roles that you're not supposed to. I do think that every flat earther, whether you're on camera or not, get 2 or 3 people together and go do some activism together intentionally.
Yeah.
Set some time aside during a weekend, if that's the only time that you have. And I'm not going to give you a time frame for how long you do it, but it is, I do think that every flat earther should at least try it once, and just to go out with the intention to advocate flat earth, not just passively wearing a t-shirt or handing a card to somebody as you walk by or as a tip to your barista. Go out and intentionally plan a day together, because I really think that when you do that, it just changes the ether, if you will. It changes something about you, and just more appreciation for the topic.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. It's kind of like when two or more come together and all that,
Yeah.
the energy shifts, and people can kind of feed off of each other's enthusiasm, and spreading the message, and kind of draw strength from each other while
Hmm.
talking to people. So yeah, and I've seen that done on camera a few times, and you go out there alone a lot of the times, and I'm like,
Hmm.
that's hardcore, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is pretty intimidating at first, but I feel like if you go out on your own and you kind of hone in your own way to deliver the message,
Hmm.
you get an understanding of how to kind of, uh, you know, anticipate what these people, right? But what they're going to say to you
Yeah.
regarding gravity and why, and they just start about why would they lie to me? It's like, it's okay. I
Right.
was there
Right.
once too. But and then you come together as a group after you had gone out a couple of hours by yourself, and you don't have to depend on somebody else. You kind of have your own um, comfortability with how to interact with the public, and you're talking to strangers. I know that David Weiss and Matt Long are going to talk about talking to friends, family, about flat Earth, and how to, those are relationships. Those are long-term things where you're going to have to chip away at some people for quite a while. You can't just, burn your bridges with all your family members. No, yeah, there will be family members that are just like, you know what, you're done, you're gone. I can't help you, and then you never talk to them again, right? But
Right.
when you're talking to strangers, there is a sense where you're like, okay, I don't want to sit here and feel like I got to hit a home run with every person, but what can I say that would leave them with something to think about? And I always tell people, go to water first,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, of course. I
Yeah.
mean, that's got to be the easiest thing, and you know, I mean, you know me, you know how I get down, man. I'm like,
Yeah.
water, of course. How's the Earth going to be mostly comprised of an element that you've never seen bend? How's that
Mhm.
work on a globe? Gravity. But anyway, but yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, that's the simplest thing. But it's just a matter of if people being ready to see it, and
Mhm.
some are, some aren't. But yeah, man, it's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do some activism at some point. Not that I'm not talking to people about flat Earth all the time, anyway, because
Right.
I'll just be kind of in the van. I'll like just have the door open. Somebody will just pull up. Hey, what's up? I'm like, what's going on? You really believe that stuff? No. Oh, okay. No, I know it. And then just
Yeah.
they're like, oh, okay. And then I'll just hop out and just chat with them. I got my props in here. I pull out my little globe, my little flat Earth model that's right behind me on the TV and all that, and show them, okay, well, yeah, the sun moves like this and all that. Just go through that stuff. But you know, um, I mean, what tools do you even go out with? Like flyers, cards? Do you have like a like little workbook that you use, or what?
Yeah, I do. I don't know. Oh, my backpack's down there. But yeah, I go out with I compare the two pictures of Earth from space and how America is two different sizes.
Mm-hmm.
I bring the Earth curvature calculation out with me and try to show them that their own math that they give us about the size of our sphere that we allegedly live on, it doesn't add up. And if it did, then they need to make the Earth bigger, right? And it can't be 24,901 miles. It needs to be 240,000 miles,
Yeah.
and it needs to be bigger. And if people keep wanting to say that, it's as if an ant is on a beach ball, then they need to change their math, right? And if they did, everyone would believe it, so it's really that simple. I go out with business cards that I hand out. I go out with the pamphlets that I have from the Flat Earth podcast and David Weiss.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
and I hand those out because that's kind of like a 101, and it's a leaflet, pamphlet. Oh, it's pamphlet. Of course, it's true,
Yeah.
right?
That's easy. Oh my God.
Of course, right? And so, it just like when the people got over the elections, right? When they got their pamphlets hanging on their doorknob, of course I'm going to vote for him because it's on a pamphlet, and
Right.
right. So yeah, and you just I go out with DVDs, so I've put you know like 4 gigs worth of video, like 19, 20, 21 videos all on one DVD when you turn it into a data file.
Yeah.
When I first started, I went out, and when I did activism, I just went out with like my YouTube channel or my Facebook, because I started out with Facebook Live first, and I just hand them that, right? But
Yeah.
as I progressed, I was like, crap, who's gonna disciple these people, right? Like, you're letting your children off to go to college, and you're only packing clean underwear, right? It's like
Yeah.
they need all these other tools with them. They need more information. They need a place to go, and they need to have somewhere to go for sure that I feel like I can trust, and then I send them there. And that was a progression. That was something that I felt they were like my kids, so if they go off and they forget about it or whatever, that's fine. I can't do anything about that. But at least if they walk away with like a DVD in their hand, they can pop it in their computer and have all these different videos up that not only deal with flat Earth, but you know uh, the Fed Reserve, vaccines, and chemtrails. These are things that kind of are observational.
Right.
There's a lot of testimony regarding those three topics where people could be really convicted about the Fed Reserve. And so I do think it's important for us as a Commonwealth of Flat Earth to feel confident about sending people to a viable place to get more information. Like, how did you wake up, right? So if you're going out and you're doing activism, who woke you up? What was your first video that woke you up? And then throw in a couple of proofs on a DVD or something. Print out some pamphlets or whatever. Get a business card together with 3 or 4 of your favorite videos, and do Vistaprint for $20. I mean, you can get 500 Vistaprint business cards and turn it into something, and you'll have something for people to take home with them and research on themselves. So
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I actually just got a package in the mail. My man Richard Lopez, he sent me a care package. I got like a lot of cards, some leaflets, things like that, from flatearth101.com. There's a lot of good stuff on there, that people can purchase and pick up just to for this purpose, to go out and do activism. It's already things that are like ready made, so you just gotta put the order in and get your stuff, and you're gonna be on your way. So just wanted to plug that. As far as the information goes, flatearth101.com, check that out if you get a chance to. And yeah,
here
you
it
can get
is.
some good stuff.
I just posted a link in the chat. David Gessner is sending me this banner that is in the link, he's bringing that to the conference, and I'll be handing that out to somebody.
Oh, nice.
So if you can, come. I mean, I expect people who want the banner, who are going to go out and use it, and it's yours for free. So otherwise, yeah, the link also directs you to where you can purchase it. It's only $60. It's got a stand to it. It's about 2 by 5 feet, so it's 2 feet wide and about 5 feet tall, and it's got some good information on there. So
Nice.
yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, man. That's what I need. I need a banner. Actually, if I'm gonna go do some activism at some point, I was thinking I might
No
just
pressure.
yeah, I'm saying, man, it's just me out here, dude. I'm
I
kind of an
know, right?
introvert. That's why I live out of my van, dude. I'm like,
Yeah, right.
I hate people. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Hey, man, I get frustrated too, but hey, you know what? Let them think they won the conversation, and you just walk away. Just acknowledge that, hey, you know what? This person's not ready. Shake their hand and be like, hey, you know what? It was great talking to you, but we're just gonna agree to disagree right now,
yeah,
and walk away, man.
yeah, pretty much.
You know?
Pretty much. No need to turn into an argument where you have to like force somebody to believe anything. A lot of times I'm like, well, hey, believe whatever you want. I'll give them one of my cards. I got these cards with my info on it. So they can check out my channel. I'm like, hey, just check this out. Look around, man. I gotta get moving. I got something going on. I talk to you. Hope to hear from you. Check me out, subscribe or whatever, blah blah. And I'll just leave, call it a day. But you know, we don't have to get everybody. We don't. And I tell people that all the time. I'm like, we don't have to get everybody. We don't have to convince everybody. It's just we'll get to a certain percentage, and then after a minute it's just gonna snap, and saturation will happen, the tipping point, so that's what it's about. You got any projects coming up in the near future that you're working on?
Well, by this week, next week, man, we'll be in Denver, and I cannot wait. I got a little minor presentation to give off. That'll be at 2:30 Mountain Standard Time, and I'll be going against Zen Garcia.
Oh,
so yeah.
I think Robbie's got me going on right before Dave Murphy, which that's perfect because Dave's a professional and I don't want to go after Dave Murphy. So
yeah.
you know.
You don't want to be well, you might not want to go after either, because everybody will just get up and have to leave because they're just like, that was really good. I'm kind of mentally exhausted right now. I gotta soak that all in, and then you show up, and then it's like, okay, turn it back on. Hyperdrive.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna have to turn on some hype music or something. Come out there, like
just come out there. Let's go, pump it up.
Can you dig it?
Can you smell?
Right. So yeah, that'll be a good time, man. Yeah, looking forward to meeting you, man.
You're going against ladies. The ladies.
Yeah, I heard about that. We got I'm gonna be doing my talk the same time the ladies are gonna be doing the women's workshop on the other side. So that's cool. I guess. I was like, oh man, but all right, that's fine. Still got some things I want to get together. I was gonna be talking about activism just a little bit, and definitely was planning on shouting you out, man. And you had sent me that message a couple of days ago. I'm like, heck yeah, dude, let's chat. What's up?
Let's do it. Good stuff. Yeah, other than that, December 8th, which is a Saturday, it's a month from now, Zoom Truth is doing something on the East Coast. So if you're in, like the New Jersey area, New York area, if you'd like to do some activism with some, seasoned veterans, some people who have gone out and talked to the public, if you're on the East Coast in that area, contact Zoom Truth. He's going to be going out on the 8th of December. I will try to do something on the 8th of December, maybe hit up the local science museum, wear a Flat Earth t-shirt, and just go on a tour, right? And just hang out. and I'd love to do it with a handful of other people also. And then I think that we would be able to, if we got like 3 or 4 people doing a tour at a science museum and you're all wearing flat Earth T-shirts, you
Yeah.
could that would be a lot of fun, and
Oh,
it
oh.
it doesn't need to be on camera, folks. If you do it, but the camera does bring quite a bit of honesty to both sides of the conversation, not just the people who you're talking to, but also the person who's holding the camera and or being filmed. So like I said before, you will get policed by fellow flat earthers on what you say positively and what you say negatively.
Mhm.
But really, it's really just about going out there and just saying the F word out in public. And I think that's the most important, because then you're allowing people to decide in their heart whether that's crazy or whether they should look into it. And then one more project that I'm doing is on Saturday, this Saturday, 2 days from now or so, right? 2 p.m., Albert Lee, Minnesota, Godfather's Pizza, Flat Earth Meetup. It's about an hour south of Minneapolis or so.
Mhm.
So I'll be doing that on Saturday. Yeah.
All right. See, that's my issue. I need to get my calendar out and put a meetup together. It's been like maybe 4 months since the last meet. Well, yeah, the last meetup in Washington that I was at. It's been a while. Went to the one in Canada a couple months ago. That was a disaster. Well, the aftermath was a disaster, not the meetup. The meetup was cool. Everybody was cool at that thing, but driving up there was some issues with the van. No need to get into that. But yeah, man, need to put some stuff on the calendar. Such a slacker, man. Jeez.
Do it, man. You'd have a good turnout, and that's all right, man. I mean, we got our own lives going on here in Minneapolis. It's gotten really cold outside, so it's hard to have, conversations with people when it's 0 degrees and snowing,
Yeah.
people. So, another thing too is that I think about quite a bit is with that being said, a mall or the science museum really, it might they might try to deem it private property, but it's still a public gathering place, and
Right.
it's really just the walls are protecting people from the elements. Otherwise, I would have my free speech out in a park and I could do what I want based,
Hmm.
if I wanted to, right? Like, I'm protected by my free speech, and the camera situation out in public here in Minnesota isn't an issue regarding laws and stuff. It's a
Yeah.
one consent state, so I have to be the one to consent to film person whether they want to be or not, which is really great. But I think that they're going to try to pull that card quite a bit if we're to do activism in the mall or at a public, venue like a sporting event, for example. And I like I said again before, are people willing to go to jail for flat Earth? And if you're told to leave, how political do you want to play? Like, do you want to say, yeah, okay, I'll leave, and that's fine, if you want to leave. But a year from now, are we going to continue to be so passive and say, no, you know what? I'm not going to leave, dude. You arrest all 10 of us. I mean,
Yeah.
really, like, you're going to arrest all 10 of us? Okay, then arrest all 10 of us. You got to spend a night in jail with 10 flat earthers, right? I mean, come on. And then they'll slap you on the wrist the next morning, and then you'll be out by 5:30 the next day. So if you do it on a weekday, yeah, you might miss work, but um, I guess that's just kind of where I'm already up there. So I'm waiting for y'all to catch up. And I can wait. Believe me, I've been waiting for 3 years since I heard about flat Earth,
Mm.
and I know that there's a progression. I know, and what Mark Sargent has said before is, this is a progression. This is good. I'm in it to win it. I know it's going to be a long track. And there's a lot more closet flat earthers out there than y'all realize. And
True
I think
story.
if these closet flat earthers, right, see more flat earthers with confidence to go out and do stuff, they might jump on board. You just never know.
Oh yeah. most definitely. I've seen it. I've seen it myself. Just being willing to go out and do your own experiments, go talking to people, even wearing a shirt, writing something on your car, putting a bumper sticker on, whatever it is. People were like inspired to action from seeing other people act. This that whole thing I learned from the military. That whole lead by example. Like I'm not going to ask anybody to do anything that I'm not doing. You know, I can encourage you, but I'm not going to be like, hey, you need to be doing this or that. No, I'll say, hey, this is what I'm doing. And then, just show you that. So that's what's up, man. That's what's up.
Correct, Mundo. I totally feel the same way. I use the filming aspect as a means to be accountable to myself.
Hmm.
Yes, of course, we all, wear T-shirts, walk around. I expect to have a conversation every time I go out with my hoodie, and the new hoodie that I got from Jim Lotus is in the maroon and gold colors, like the Minnesota Golden Gophers here, the college team, right? And it says Flat Earth, Minnesota, right? I've
Hmm.
had two people in the last week come up to me and say, "Hun, where's Flat Earth in Minnesota? Where is it? I've lived here my whole life, and I've never heard of a city called Flat Earth."
Yeah.
Bam, they're ready to hear it. Hand them a
That,
card, and I just kind of talk to them for a minute, and and then they're off on their own, So expect a conversation, and it doesn't have to be 20 minutes. You don't have to
oh,
sit down and have coffee with somebody and expect to get into a debate or whatever. Agree to disagree and walk away. So I think that being on camera holds me accountable, because if I'm doing it 10 hours a week or something like that, then I feel confident that what I am delivering, the message, how I deliver the message is my own unique way of doing it,
hmm.
and it helps other people get that confidence to go out there, which it has. We have seen new flat Earth activists come out, and it's an unbelievable feeling to just be like, yes, I don't have
Yeah.
to go out every day now, right? Like
Right. Right.
I can, for them to over in the UK to do it every day for like 6 hours a day, I'm just like,
Yeah.
wow, even after 3 days, I've gotten mentally exhausted, you
Yeah.
know?
And they were out there for 8 weeks, man. Like, dude,
I know, right? Yes.
that was huge. And streaming about every day, doing a
Hmm.
follow up afterwards with Roxanne and the crew. Roxanne doing a kind of a wrap up of the highlights. I mean, she was like Pepper Potts, keeping an
Yeah.
eye on the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that was cool watching that whole situation unfold. So yeah, everybody, yeah, make sure you subscribe to Authentic Intent. Get on Josh's channel. He's out there doing some good stuff. Um, anything
Yeah.
you wanna plug, promote? What's up, man?
Well, yeah, I had a couple topics, we can scoot through them, or,
Yeah,
talk on one for digress
yeah, let's do it.
a little bit. Um, Kind of heard this earlier in Jay Dreamer's chat, and I was curious on your thoughts. What do you think about us as flat earthers starting some kind of a trade route? I bring this up because in China, they are reigniting the Silk Road, and they want to have commerce with almost 70 countries between one point and another. It appears to be something along the lines of like an Oregon Trail type of deal,
Mhm.
and it's ironically called the Silk Road because we had the Silk Road and what people allege to call like the dark web or whatever, where everything was game. You could buy whatever it is that you want on this one website. And
Yeah,
so if they really want to recreate the Silk Road in, China to Europe, what's going to be available? Are they going to be bigger than Amazon, eBay, and Walmart? So I'm just curious, like, what are your thoughts about having maybe starting a flat Earth trade website or something like that, where we don't really deal with money, we just deal with items, or work, like I'll give you, I got this 20-pound bag of, really good coffee. Will you, change the oil in my car?
Yeah, dude, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. I mean, whatever we can do to step away from the system, work amongst ourselves, communicate, distribute, however we can go about uh connecting and normalizing flat earth. That's kind of something I want to hit on, or something that's been in my mind, this entire time. Like, we already know what this is. Let's just make it normal and acceptable. But yeah, something like that would definitely be beneficial, because I mean, we're kind of a group that's trying to break away from the system. I mean, the whole fiat currency system, it keeps us in a position where we have to continue to play that game. But if we just step away and say, well, we're not really going to use your monopoly money, we're just going to trade services and stuff that we already have. Like, I mean, we've all been collecting stuff, whatever it may be. We've all been collecting stuff. And if we're being honest, most of us have more stuff than we actually need, and could very well kind of set up our own barter system. So yeah, I mean, that
Mm,
sounds really good. Like a barter type system amongst
yeah.
us, where we're
Hmm.
not having that little paper money changing hands. Yeah,
Hmm.
that sounds that's tight. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think, that could be a small way for this Commonwealth. I think we could even get closet flat earthers involved in something like that, where, you know, if they see, a product or something or a service, somebody in town,
Hmm.
is a flat earther and they do auto work and you grow your own tomatoes and potatoes, then you can swap out, some mechanical work for some food, because that same person who is a mechanic is also a vegan, right? So
Yep.
yeah, I think that, could be something, so if you're good at websites, right? I'm
Yeah.
coming up with these ideas. Now it's up to you. I'll go on the street and I'll talk flat earth, right? But, we all got to have our role. We all got to play our part.
Yeah.
And there was the Silk Road online, and now they're trying to recreate it literally, in a physical manner, in China. And I just posted a link. I'll post the link again of, it's called the China Belt and Road Initiative.
Yeah, that's cool. I
So,
like that. I like that. Yeah,
mhm.
and that's something that I've been kind of wanting to do for a while. I'll go ahead and disclose this to the community. I have an idea of what I'd like to do. Um, you know, I eventually want to walk away from the whole job situation. I'd like to get into commercial aquaponics operation, and I even have an idea for normalizing flat earth, and facilitating my idea about distribution. And as far as aquaponics, if you heard that, the whole aspect of having fish, and they kind of mineralize the water, and there's these grow beds that you can grow your fruits and vegetables and all that. It's kind of a closed system. The water goes from the grow beds to the filters, and then goes back, and there's clean water pumping back into the fish tank. So it's a kind of closed loop system. And I'd like to start kind of a commercial operation doing that, commercial aquaponics system or farm. And the name of it would be Level Earth Aquaponics Farm. And the logo would be a leaf, because that's the acronym LEAF. So,
Uh-huh.
and that incorporates flat Earth into that, at the same time. So yeah, yes, people, D Marble wants to be a farmer. Okay.
Yeah, right on, man.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
do it. And so with that being said, how would you water your plants? Where would you get the water? A lot of controversy and being chemtrailed and stuff.
Yeah,
So,
that's the thing. It's like I would have to set up like a not a tent, but kind of like a greenhouse. It could be on the inside of that, and the water can just be pumped in from, I don't know. I'll figure something out. as far as the water goes. But it'll be an enclosed system. It's like it'll be a closed loop system, man. And the
Hmm.
idea is to take that stuff and distribute to farmers markets or like vegan restaurants and all that. And yeah, man, that's it's a dream, as it were. But yeah,
An
I just
enclosed
gotta get to work.
system.
Look
Hmm.
up aquaponics, man. It's pretty
Yep.
dope. I'm telling you,
Where
pretty
have I
cool.
heard where have I heard enclosed system before, right?
Hey, we're all about the enclosed system.
Yeah, exactly. Until
Yeah.
until it has to do with like globe Earth, right? And they're like, well, if you're in a car and you're handing somebody a cup to the back seat, it's like, come on, get over this. Like, Santa Claus isn't real. Just
Yeah.
done. Not
You know,
playing.
I had flipped that idea the other day. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna like force them to keep expanding the idea of no motion because I used that I used an analogy the other day. I don't know if you saw this video. I was talking about the Epic, the Earth
Oh yeah,
polychromatic imaging camera from the Discover,
where
and
the clouds never move.
yeah, the clouds never move. But then they're saying that that little satellite is supposed to be 1 million miles away from the Earth. And the way I look at it is like the Earth is supposed to be flying through space, orbiting around the sun, and the sun's supposed to be dragging the Earth and the solar system and all that. So when something leaves the Earth, I consider that to be independent of the Earth, and the Earth just keeps flying through space, right?
Yeah.
So the analogy they like to give us is, well, if you're in a car, the reason we don't feel it is because it's like we're in this system, and you know, if you're in a car and there's a fly buzzing around or whatnot, the fly's not going to get slammed around. I'm like, yeah, okay. So how about this? What if you're in a car going down the freeway at 60, roll the window down, the fly gets sucked out of the window? Is the fly going to be able to catch up with the car? Absolutely not. It's not going to
Nope.
happen. So I'm kind of going to force these globe believers to say, well, you don't understand orbital mechanics and all that because the fly is still moving relative to everything else. So you're telling me the whole flipping galaxy is moving at the exact same time? Really? That's what you want me to believe? That's what we're going to go with? The whole solar system's just all moving at the same time, and the satellite's going to be able to track along with the Earth? Oh my God, dude!
Garbage.
I had yeah, I contemplated on that thing, and from the time that that Discover satellite was launched, February 11th to um, July 16th, according to the globe numbers and all that, the Earth had moved like almost 2 billion miles through space while it's being dragged by the sun. But the Epic camera was able to take pictures of the Earth after it had already moved like 2 billion miles from only 1 million miles away. I'm like, wait a minute, how was it able to track the Earth that whole time? I still hadn't gotten any good answers back for that one, but we'll see. We'll see
Yeah.
what happens.
And they have so much confidence in science, in maths, that they can't necessarily understand it because then what they're doing is regurgitating what they have learned in school, but they're not literally out there. You know,
Right.
all the maths and all of this conjecture is based on assumptions. It's based on something that may or may not really be going on. I can't physically observe it, but then when I see a picture of it on camera on a picture, then that means it's real. And what's funny is you hear the disclosure community. I don't know if you've caught up with the disclosure community, but I used to kind of be into that because I used to be into aliens a number of years ago before Flat Earth.
Yeah.
And even before Flat Earth, I was kind of like, all right, like aliens, where are they then? Right? I mean,
Yeah.
are they are they totally cloaked like human form, like The Arrival with the Charlie Sheen? If you haven't seen The Arrival with Charlie Sheen, that's a really good show. But now that I'm into flat Earth and whatnot, I think of Disclosure as being extraterrestrials because they're
Mhm.
on extra terrain
Yeah.
outside of our boundaries, and a lot of people think that they're blue avians. So that's the Disclosure. So I think that Disclosure will be quote aliens, but they're going to really be from our own plane. Like I think it's an infinite plane, right?
Yeah.
But I think that there's going to be something that has either been brewing, they've been doing something with people, uh, you know, creating hybrids or something like that, and maybe later on they'll introduce that and they'll use technology that we have learned as flat earthers over the past couple of years about gravity and what gravity really is. Yes, it's buoyancy and density, but it's also, electromagnetism and
Hmm.
magnetics and, manipulating the ether and the energy that's in the ether to make things hover. And that's
Yeah.
simple. That's simple stuff. And if we're not familiar with that technology, because all that we're limited to is what we have on our phone and the
Right.
touch screens and stuff, we have to wait for the establishment to allow us that type of technology.
Yep.
You know, so it's going to look futuristic to us. It's going to look like alien technology, but really, it's just withheld technology.
Yeah. And I mean that's my thought. Right alongside you because I mean it's my idea that the military industrial complex, DARPA, these secret programs and all that, they're like 20, 50 years ahead of us as far as the technology that is available, but they only just release just a little bit to us for our entertainment. But yeah, technology is definitely being suppressed. And okay, I was going to ask you if you thought it was an infinite plane. All right, that's cool.
Yeah,
And then you just hit on that one. Just
yeah.
real
I
quick.
see the classic hashtag dome exit.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think about that?
I don't.
Yeah, yeah.
I, I just I just try to continue on, man. I'm like, hey, I'm not arguing either way. I believe it's a dome, but that's just because I'm like, okay, how do you explain the rainbow shape again? Maybe it's a point to where you can pass through the dome or the external toroidal field
Mm-hmm,
out there. It's possible that there are other lands. I don't know. I haven't
mm-hmm,
been there. I'm not about to argue with somebody about some stuff that neither of us know. that
yeah.
doesn't I'm not going there. So, it's all good. Thanks to Gina Espinoza and Seth Bob. Seth says, you know what? There is no Easter Bunny. That over there is just a guy in a suit.
All right. Well, you say that here. Do that in public, because I have said there is no such thing as Santa Claus in public.
Yeah.
So it's fun, to shoot that amongst like-minded people and adults and stuff. But if you really want to find out what you can and can't say in public, say it.
Yeah.
And even you, I dare you, and I'm not saying this to be aggressive or anything, but and not you necessarily, Daryl, but the person who posted that, you will be convicted in your heart for saying it out loud in public. I guarantee it. Even though you know Santa Claus is not real, you're saying it around children and their parents. There is there something comes over you. Even though like I could probably do it again, and I have an unlisted video of me in at a wild game. You can watch the entire wild game where I'm doing activism inside a Minnesota Wild hockey game. But there's a minute unlisted that I have a video of, and you can see me say in front of this guy's two boys that Santa Claus isn't real. And he gets in my face and he says, "You say that one more time, I'm gonna punch you in the mouth."
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
like
he
that.
was like that. Yep.
See?
So did my heart sink a little bit? I mean, a little bit maybe, but you know, there is a tactful way to go about spreading truth. And if you want to spread truth and you say something out loud, right? It's one
Yep.
thing to think about it, but when you say it out loud amongst other human beings, you police yourself, even though
Right.
you want truth
Yeah.
to come out. So,
Yeah. Man. Yeah, dude, people get upset about these things. I'm telling you. And there's I get a little not so much triggered, just a little irritated with the idea of these Hallmark holidays. Thank you to Carlos Pagan.
Yeah.
Um, and oh man, that's ironic. I was about to talk about pagan holidays.
Go for it.
Yeah, man, because we just finished up with Halloween. People are calling it Samhain, something like that is where it derived from. I'm like, look, far as I know, people are saying it's not satanic. I'm like, you need to explain that to the Satanists.
Yeah.
What you want me to do? I posted some stuff like that on Facebook. People got really upset. I believe the post said the same people right now with ghosts and goblins and all witches and whatnot on their in their front yard are going to have a full out nativity scene with baby Jesus in the same spot in 45 days. Dude, people got pissed because I said something about that, but it is what it is. Halloween, obviously that's I'm sorry, that's got nothing if ah nothing biblical about that. So,
Mhm.
and there's no exception for that. People want to argue with me about it. I'm like, argue with the Bible. I just drop a verse and
Yeah.
walk away. I'm like, what you want me to do? It says, kind of along the lines of, don't, learn not the ways of the heathen and whatnot. I'm sorry, that's what it is. There's verses, in scripture that say something about, learn not the ways of the heathen. They'll take a tree, chop it down, and decorate it with silver and gold and whatnot. I'm like, decorate a tree with now. Why does that sound so familiar?
Yeah. Hmm.
Oh, that's right.
Hmm.
Who would be chopping down trees and wait, Christmas trees. Well now, I put
No,
some
no,
stuff up
no.
like that.
They're talking about chopping trees down to make more Walmarts.
I don't know, man. I don't know. We need to we need to cut that out too. The stuff that's going on, man, as far as the destruction of Earth, I try not to even think about it. There's the concept of dude. You used to see these commercials on TV that every hour so many square feet of trees are being chopped down. I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
god, what do
Hmm.
we? Oh, man, look, we have one Earth to take care of. We got one job, and this small handful of greedy bankers and Satanist, pedophile, freaking Jesuits or whatever, whoever you want to call them. Let me ask you, who do you think these people are? Do you even think they're people?
Well, if you want to go down that road, that was one of the topics that I went into a little bit, is the reptilian idea. We could
Hmm.
dabble in that a little bit. And I guess my take on that, and again, watch The Arrival with Charlie Sheen. It's an old movie, but I guess you'll kind of get an idea from that, but then it'll kind of piggyback into what I'm going to say here. I really
Hmm.
think that what these people have done with their occult knowledge, like that hidden knowledge, that Gnosticism that is only taught in particular schools. Like I ask college students almost all the time, do you really think that your professional sport players, your celebrities, and your high ranking politicians, do you think that they send their kids to the University of Minnesota? Are you kidding me? You think that they send them to a public college?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. They send them to particular schools where they learn gematria, they learn the real history of the world, because they want an elevated sense of consciousness. They want to feel superior over you. And I think
Yeah.
that over a period of time, when these people get into these handshake clubs and so on, they do literally do um, human sacrifice, and they do
Yep.
sacrifice particular people to get to an elevated state of consciousness. And then when you do that, you know in your heart that what you're doing is wrong, but you suppress it
Hmm.
so much, and by that suppression, you are allowing demons to manifest into you. It's like Legion, when Jesus Christ is talking to that man and he's in the graveyard and he's carrying his chains. What's
Yep.
your name? My name is Legion. Well, if you look up what that term means, that means that there's thousands of demons in this person.
Right.
And I think that that manifests itself in reality, where you'll see the clicking. I call it like kind of a clicking in the eyes, where it shifts from human eye to a reptilian type of a slit.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, and you kind of have seen it in the past during videos. Now, yes, whether those videos are manipulated, you can go down that route. Have an open mind, and just kind of keep that in your back pocket. But I do think like that is where a sense of the reptilian idea has come from. Is
Hmm.
these politicians are just so consumed with demonic entities that's what they and they are human. I still think that they're human, but it's just that these entities have just completely overtaken them like a golem. A golem is like Frankenstein, and Frankenstein needs some kind of an essence or energy to come into him to be alive, right? And that's when the electricity comes into him, and he's like, he's alive. But I think that what they're doing I think that what they can do in the future, or what they're going to try to do in the future, not to just change subjects, but AI technology, golems with organic, like human-looking people,
Hmm.
but then they'll implant some kind of AI consciousness into that thing, and they'll try to, manifest AI into organic material. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, that's kind of a long-winded answer, but yeah.
No, no, that's it. Well, that seems like where things might go in the future. I mean, there's you know what? A coworker was talking to me about this. Have you heard about this company in Canada named Clonaid?
Yeah.
C Clonaid, Clonaid. He was telling me about that. Like, human cloning's kind of been, kind of been a thing, almost mainstream since like 2002. And
Hmm.
there's that company out there. I'm like, dude, what? You know, and that's where stuff is going, man, or where stuff seems to be going. It's kind of weird, a little creepy. As always, these people need to be stopped because it seems like they don't have any remorse. There's no regret. There's no empathy. They do not care about human beings, as it were. It's like they're, and you know what? While you were talking about these people being so possessed with demons to the point to where it manifests as the little reptilian slit. Somebody actually posted a video a couple weeks ago. Trump's guy, I want to say Secretary of Defense, Mattis, the guy with the really big bags under his eyes.
Mm,
They like
yeah.
zoomed in the camera on him, and his eyes were doing the reptile slit. I was like,
Oh no.
yeah, yeah. I'm saying, man, if you can, and it was just not sure, it might have been one of the rallies or something, and he was just standing there, looked like he was looking directly at the camera, but whoever it was, they edited to the point to where they zoomed in on his eyes, and he had the reptilian slit, man. So some odd
Yowzers.
stuff going on. Yeah, some odd stuff going on. Some odd stuff going on. That's something to look at for the QAnon folk. Cause
Yeah, that's one topic that we go back to AI and transhumanism.
mm,
Um, I I have said this. I said this the other night when I was on Sun and Moon group with Karen. Flat Earthers should be 101 in every topic by now. Every topic that we have heard about in the last 18 years, Flat Earthers are 101 in that basic informational intelligence, if you will, of chemtrails, vaccines, veganism, AI, transhumanism, 5G. I mean, these topics can go on and on. I got a whole list of them, and I'll probably read it all off at the conference. I got like 25 different things
hmm
of things that I have learned in the last 18 years, but particularly in the last 4 or 5 years. And 5G next to flat Earth is the biggest thing that will hit the human race, but it will be a government-led operation.
yeah,
5G is going to be the biggest thing since the internet and since electricity was became mainstream. 5G is so big. I don't think people really understand how big 5G is and what it's going to do to the masses over a period of time. I'm not saying that it's going to be purge, but I'm certainly not saying that I'm definitely not saying that it's going to be like it is right now. 4G, if we could just keep it to 4G right now, I would vote, let's keep 4G and that's it. I don't need any faster interwebs.
Yeah.
I don't need to download a video in 10 seconds. I mean, I can stream just fine, but what they want to do is they want to be able to have you stream in 4K and 8K. And they want to change the perception of reality. They want to distort what's real and what's artificial. And they want to blur the lines, is really what they're trying to do. And if you haven't looked up voice to skull technology, I did a post a couple of days ago about that on November 4th, because if you flip it around, it's 411. And what do you do on your phone when you do 411, right? That's information.
Info, yeah.
Right. So, check out voice to skull technology. That is unclassified, declassified information by the military, where they can literally project a voice in your mind that nobody else can hear. It's kind of like everybody here in the chat room and who's going to listen to this later is hearing your voice and my voice through their ears, and then it's transferred to the brain and it's turned into sound. Well, voice to skull skips the middleman, and it goes right to your brain, and you hear an audible voice in your head and nobody else can hear it, and you can hear it. So possibly in the event that happened this morning, that person was former military, and they could have been a former MK Ultra subject. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't there.
Right. You're talking about the shooting in California at the Borderline bar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there was let me see.
Yeah, I have that as a topic to talk about, so it's a good segue, I guess.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just let me handle this.
I was
All
like,
right.
I got the window here. So if anybody in the chat room sees somebody's face in the back here, you let me know, because I don't have the watch page up. So.
All right, I'll let you know if I see anybody, man. Most definitely.
All right.
Good Lord. Yeah, we gotta keep it safe out here. Seriously.
Well,
but yeah, here, where were we? Oh my God. Here we go.
we were talking about events that happened at and so I'm into gematria. That event that happened this morning, early this morning, happened 1 year, 1 month, and 6 days, I believe, to the last country music festival out in Las Vegas.
Interesting.
So think about that, folks. 1, 1, 6. 1 year, 1 month, and 6 days to the last country music event. Sounds like 9/11 to me.
Yeah. So. Pretty much. Here, I'm trying to work on something real quick. So I was thinking about the gematria earlier today, and I was just contemplating, just kind of messing around a little bit as far as how some of the stuff just keeps popping up, or how some individuals will go off on certain tangents on different events and all that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me see. Man, I cannot get this thing open. Okay, mods, go ahead and handle these people. I see the trolls are showing up.
That's all right.
Yeah, I forgot to put on the slow mode on the chat, so
sure.
These losers keep popping up. Pretty sad.
Let them have their fun. Just let us have our fun.
I mean, seriously, get a life. What are you doing? My goodness, get a freaking life.
Wonder what got them, because we're not really talking a whole lot flat Earth right now. We're talking about declassified things that anybody can look up.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I know. I'm not sure what triggers these knuckleheads that bad, man. They're freaking lame.
Well, I think too. Let's be real here. there's a lot of us that are 3 or 4 years into the game right now. You know, we're juniors and seniors in this. And yes, talking about flat Earth is great, but to be an echo chamber all the time, you know, it might not be that productive. There are other channels and other places that people can go who are new to flat Earth that can, you know, learn on their own time and hear what they need to hear. But now, you know, I'd really love to see some of us flat earthers who have a platform, you know, like myself or, you know, Zoom Truth, yourself, and so on. We can delve into some of these topics and just, hey, we're just talking, right?
Yeah,
You know,
pretty
we're
much.
crazy. We don't
Yeah,
know what we're talking about.
yeah. You know, we're just bouncing ideas. Just sharing our thoughts on these different topics and all that.
Yeah,
Who knows? There's no need for these goofballs to show up. We're not even talking flat Earth a whole lot
yeah.
these days.
Open discussion.
Yeah. Just a different
Mhm.
discussion, just chatting about some different things. We're talking about 5G. Dude, I looked at 5G, man. I've been paranoid ever since. I forgot the lady's name. Um, but yeah, I watched this video, man. It was like an hour long video on 5G.
Deborah
And
Tavares.
yep, I believe that was her.
Hmm.
Here was she like looked like she was kind of like in this attic in like a wooden uh like cabin.
Yeah,
Is that
she's always in. She's very passionate. Like
yeah.
she gets to the point. Yeah, if you guys haven't heard, you know, if you go to my channel, I have a 5G weather manipulation playlist, and I have a lot of information there. And Deborah Tavares is on point with a lot of her talk. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, she is. And yeah, the 5G, that was one of her new ones, man. And I was looking at that like, "Oh my god, dude. We're we got some work to do, man. We got some
We have a
work to
long
do."
ways to go.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of different things that need to be taken care of. And I mean, this is why I don't so much try to shoehorn anybody into some certain group. I'll talk flat earth, that's cool. And I'll go off on some other stuff. I'm not knocking anybody for spreading truth about anything because there's so many different things that are wrong with the system. The currency system, the Federal Reserve, the Jesuits, the Zionists, 5G, chemtrails, vaccines, the FDA, GMOs, you name it. There's so much stuff that's wrong. No one person can handle all these things. So we all need to be talking about whatever gets us amped up, because whatever gets you passionate in your heart, you'll be able to convey that message with that much more conviction. And that's what we need. We need people to put energy behind whatever they're passionate about. So regardless of whatever it is, get it out there, because most of the world's still sleepwalking and there's so much stuff going on that we need to take a look at as a collective, and we need to figure this stuff out quick
Hmm.
and get some plans together as far as how we're going to shut this thing down.
Yeah. There's an idea out there in parts of the Flat Earth Commonwealth. May 11th, 2019, Ephesians Day. So if you look up Ephesians 5:11, basically talks about exposing truth and not being part of it. And so, you know, there's a day right there where it's on a Saturday. You know, we could, you know, get together in your own city. We could, you know, traverse and have a huge meetup in Washington, D.C. Ephesians 5:11 says, have nothing to do with fruitless deeds of darkness, rather expose them.
Mm,
And that's what Flat Earth does. Flat Earth exposes everything. It's kind of like turning the light on, right? In the old abandoned building, and you got the cockroaches scattering around, or you
yeah,
lift up the rug, and you know all the bugs, a rock, right, out in the boonies, and you got all the these bugs that you never see, and you're just like, ew, right?
right. Where'd these come from?
Yeah, like who made these?
Yeah,
Right? So, and it just so happens to be May 11th on a Saturday. What better day to work than on a Saturday? I
I like it.
love working on a Saturday.
I like it. What
And
what
this
what, what time
this
is
is
it?
real work.
What time
What
is that anyway? What time is that
what
going down?
I haven't come across a time.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I haven't heard. I don't think we're trying to focus on getting people together, right? And and doing it. And then I think as it gets closer, most people have Saturdays off. Could be like noon or 1 o'clock and
Yeah.
something like that,
Well, hey,
But
I'd like to get involved to some degree. I'm always wanting to do what I can.
mhm,
I'll promote. Hey, if it's on a Saturday, man, I might be able to fly out and show up to the thing too. Get
yeah,
alongside you guys doing this you know, um 511. Yeah, I like it. And yeah, Flat Earth Fokker. He was
right,
talking about it at the meetup in Canada,
mhm,
um, in Vancouver, when I went up there last time. So yeah, he was talking about the same thing, and I heard David, Zoom Truth. He's been talking about getting like 1,000 people together. So yeah, definitely let's make some moves, man.
yeah,
I like
yeah.
it.
Make
Let's
some
go.
moves. Show the public that this is, not necessarily about flat Earth. Five Ephesians Day, May 11th, 2019, isn't necessarily about flat Earth. It's about that person that woke up last week with 9/11,
Yeah,
right? It's that person who knows all about vaccines because their daughter just passed away after they gave them, you know, 13 vaccines.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? So that now they're informed into the vaccine idea. And so if we could, as a collective, come together as human beings, knowing that there's something funny going on in the government. It just kind of rubs me the wrong way. And then most people, as flat earthers, you talk to the public and you say, I mean, we might not agree that space is real or not, but the government's kind of shady sometimes, right? Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yep,
So where does that line get drawn then? Like, how far will they take it? Well, they take it to the extreme to where they lied about where we live and who created us and where we came from and so on. And Ephesians Day is just really about getting human beings together as a collective, because I really think that it's kind of like a school of fish or birds flying up in the sky. How is it that they're all just able to just go as a school like this, and do all these different maneuvers and
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
all together, right?
yeah. They don't communicate about that. They don't.
No.
They're all
Yeah.
like flying that way, and then they'll hear a gunshot or something like that, and then they'll all just immediately turn in the same direction. I'm like, what? That's craziness.
Hmm.
I
Yep.
like it. I like it. You know,
So
and we
it's
could,
group
yeah,
consciousness. Yeah.
yeah, man. That's
Hmm.
that's what it's about. That's what it's about. I like it. So, yeah, man.
And
Hmm.
I think that with what happened this morning is group consciousness. It's getting people, just regular Americans watching the news today and hearing about that and just being like, not again, or like everybody's just, it kind of gets people into this just like, not again, like, what are we going to have to do to do, well, I guess if the government says we got to take away guns, then we got to take away guns.
Yeah,
That's what they say.
yeah, man. I'm not. They're pushing for that. It looks like it anyway.
Uh,
And I was watching Dan Pratt today. He was talking about the situation where the Antifa, they surrounded Tucker Carlson's house while he wasn't home. They're all screaming outside his windows. He got doxxed, so people know where he lives at. And
hmm,
it's like what he was saying was they're kind of setting up this situation where eventually they're going to have to build walls between the public and the press, the media, the politicians, and all that. Because when people start, figuring out um, where these people live, and start trying to attack them at their homes, there's going to be a call for increased security for
hmm.
special groups. So we got to be careful about this stuff, man. I mean, and we can all feel it, like something's about to happen, something's coming to a head, like there's this shift. I don't know, man. I can't explain it. Like something's gonna happen. I'm not sure what, but we gotta keep our eyes open. I can say that.
Well, to kind of piggyback off of that with certain groups,
Yeah.
Flat Earth is a certain group. Our Our message is particular message that goes against everything that is taught in school. Like, you don't learn about perspective in science class. You learn about perspective in art class, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So
Yep.
they compartmentalize all of your teachings in public school. So can you figure it out if you're awake in public school? Yes, you could. You could piece together all your different classes, right? And understand that they're giving you a message to show you nature, to show you creation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the globe earth is. It's to hide creation. And if you hide creation, you hide the creator. And so if we're able to, again, I go back to changing the school system, changing the educational system, but we as a group of flat earthers, we are a particular group and we're not protected. There's a game out there called Sniper Shooter. This came out a number of months ago
I saw
in
that.
terms of advertisement, right? Because Celebrate Truth did a video about this,
Mm-hmm.
where in the fifth mission, or fifth, well, let's call it the fifth chapter, second mission, so there's 5-2,
Yeah.
some numerology there. So chapter 5, mission number 2, you have to snipe a flat earth teacher.
Yep.
Okay, so
I
let me
saw that one.
reiterate that for new people who have not seen this and have not heard of this game. You can get it on your iPad or whatever. It's called Sniper Shooter. I don't know if it's free or not. It might be $2 or something like that. I bought it. I didn't care, have my $2, but I wanted to see it because I heard rumors about this game. And you really do have to shoot a flat earther. And that's where I ended the game. You
Yeah.
know, that's
Yeah.
like if you were to make a game that said, hey, this person is going around to libraries dressing up in drag. It's a male, but then dressing up in female clothing and then teaching this particular lifestyle. You have to snipe this person. Last time I checked, those people are protected by hate speech.
True story.
Okay, so at what point when are flat earthers protected? When are you're gonna shoot me? You're gonna accost me? You're gonna physically accost me because I'm sharing flat Earth with college students? Sure, yeah, bring it on. I don't care. I'm ready to go to jail or ready to die for this cause because I really feel like flat Earth is this important. But we're not protected. And again, it goes back to a year from now. How far are they going to continue to allow flat Earth to progress and just be like, okay, we're done with your little flat Earth game. We're not going to put up with your little flat Earth game anymore. This is ridiculous. It's gone far enough. It's kind of like, the parents allowing their kids to do something where they don't really necessarily agree with it, like smoking cigarettes or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, no, you're under my roof. And when you're under my roof, you follow my rules.
Right.
And you're not going to do this anymore. And they feel like we have been silent for so long. We've consented to this narrative of the globe Earth that to continue to talk about flat Earth, they're like, okay, you are in our country. You need to follow along with our rules and everything else. You need to stop talking to these children and this youth about flat Earth.
Yeah. Yeah. It's looking like it might get to that point at sometime in the future. But like you said, man, we gotta be willing to get locked up for this. I mean, it's just we'll see. We'll force their hand some way or another. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, it's either they're gonna have to start maybe trying to desensitize people to the idea of sniping us out. Maybe start trying to lock us up. Maybe I don't know what, round us up, put us in camps or something. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, man. But they're gonna get desperate to shut us down at some point because this is spreading too far too fast. But we'll see what happens, man. We'll see. I mean, I don't plan on taking the writing off my van anytime soon. So it is what it is. I'm dude, I'm out here. I already know. Um, you know, everybody knows I'm in Tacoma. People, it's like my vehicle is not. It's not low vis. Okay, anybody can find me, dude. I was out at midnight coming from the gym the other night. Some dude catches me on you know, on the road. You know, we're stopped at a red light. He's like, hey, rolls the window down, and he wants to chat for a little bit. Yeah, I've been watching your stuff. I'm like, I'm not hard to find. So
Yeah.
if they were so inclined to want to shut me down, it wouldn't be that hard. I can tell you that. So this is why I try to stay out in the open. You know, this is why I try to you know, just be transparent and really visible about what's going on. Because I'm like,
Mm.
you know, guys, I'll try to check in like every couple days or so. So I mean, if at some point you guys are like, D, where you at? You know, if I don't check in, worry, okay? Because
Yeah.
I plan on checking in regularly. So somebody's gonna need to know where I'm at. But you know, it's like that. I mean, sharing this is you know, kind of it can be dangerous actually. And I mean, here do you get you get trolls, you get people calling you shill at
Hmm.
all?
No, I don't get too many people that call me shill. I get people who kind of just try to discredit regarding me talking to the public, and I should be talking to like some professor somewhere.
Hmm.
I feel like how I convey flat Earth to the public, it it resonates with those people, and the trolls can see it. I really think like a handful of trolls that we would consider trolls back a couple years ago, I really think that they're like flat earthers, but they have a contract or it's fun to challenge flat earthers because they're up to speed with everything that's kind of going on. Um, I I guess the only way that I would be I people have considered me to be a troll is I have a Patreon and a PayPal link in the
Yeah.
description section of my videos. And I only have that because when I first started, people wanted to send me $10 for a meal. And they're like, "Hey dude, you should put up a PayPal link so I can send you some money." And it's like,
Right.
hmm. And in the New Testament, it talks about with Paul saying, "Don't muzzle the ox while it's threshing the ground," and that means like if you see somebody doing work for the greater good, like for what you believe in, offer them money if you have the resources, because not everybody has the confidence, the just kind of the way to speak to people.
Hmm.
They have a family, they have a job, they have commitments that they already have, and they can't send themselves out, right?
Right.
But they can send money, and that's their own personal energy. So who are you to judge somebody else for sending money to Daryl Marble when I worked for my money? I put in the energy. I put in an hour's worth of time, and I feel like my hour's worth of time is $50. So if I want to send D Marble $50 because I worked an hour, that's on me. That's my energy. That's because really I mean, look at the Matrix. That is a blueprint for what human beings are. We're energy.
Yeah.
We're putting forth our work and our time to produce something mostly for the establishment, right? And then
Hmm.
that money gets taxed. Not too many people work, from home and have their own business or whatever. But let's say the majority of people who do work and everything, that's their energy. And so if they feel like this person is doing what they wish they could do, but they can't, I'm going to send you a couple of bucks.
Yeah, and I don't see anything wrong with that. And you know, the people saying, "Oh, you're just in it for the money. Stop giving these people. Don't dedicate. Oh, you're a shill. You're a troll." I'm like, we're all adults here.
Hmm.
Nobody's putting a gun in anybody's head saying, "Send this person money. Don't send this person." We can make our own decisions.
Hmm.
It's fine, you know. It's like you know, I'd made a donation. I've made a few donations to a few people, and I don't broadcast it. It's not necessary. But if you feel that someone's providing a service and that they're you know, putting themselves out there to further a cause that you believe in, but you aren't in a position to go out and do it exactly how they do, why not? And why discourage another adult from helping out another adult? I don't get that part. People are just silly with that stuff, man. It's kind of just ridiculous if you really sit
Yeah.
down and think about it. Because I'm like, we're all adults. We can all make our own decisions as to how we're going to handle these things. But you know,
And you know what? I'm going to the Flat Earth International Conference, flying out next Wednesday, 6 a.m. the 14th,
yep,
because of the Flat Earth community. Because people donated their time, their resources, and their money for me to fly out there, rent a car, spend the 4 days out there, and I'm blessed by Robbie Davison to give me an opportunity to speak there,
yeah,
and give a presentation about activism, because activism is not just flat Earth, and I don't mean to divulge too much of what I'm going to talk about, but just to kind of, get the anticipation going, for me and for you and for everybody else that's speaking out there. Activism is what they were doing 50 years ago. You know, they were doing the black movement, they were doing the women's movement, and the homosexual movement was coming on after that.
mm-hmm.
So if there's not activism going on in these topics, and the people who see activism going on, and they're a closet homosexual, and they're just like, yay, they're
Yeah,
kind of like one of these, right?
mm,
But they don't want to go get out there and try to pursue the idea and like be active about it. That's great, but you know what? I don't want to. If you don't get too active, I don't want to see you 10 years from now and be like, yeah, flat Earth, yeah. And it's like, wait a second, like before you were just talking about sending money and calling us shills, remember that? But now you're on board, right? Like, so there is this kind of balance that needs to be had, where what was so important about the the black civil rights movement? What was so important about the women's movement? What was so important about the homosexual movement, where these people were risking their lives? They were going to jail, they were being lynched, they were being beaten up, they were being ridiculed.
mm,
And you flat earthers, you are, I mean, kind of pussies. I mean, right? I mean, be real here. Like, if it gets to that point, are you going to be like, I love flat Earth and all that, and that's cool, Josh. I've seen you do activism. You're really passionate, and you feel like, I feel like you've got a path that you're on, and it's encouraging to see other people on it. But I've spent a night in jail, man. I don't like being in jail, and I don't think that flat Earth is really worth going to jail for. If that's your mentality right now, that's disappointing. Hey, man, I hope to see you at the conference and everything, give you a big hug and stuff, but uh, I do think that we need to kind of build up that confidence, because we have truth on our side. What are we afraid of?
yeah,
Like the civil rights movement. I would have never thought that a black person, an Asian, a Hispanic, or anything would need to fight for their right to work if they choose to want to work, right? And be a part of a community and be a part of the work establishment, like, and start their own job. I wouldn't think that a woman would have to fight for her right to be equal to a man in a workplace.
right,
Like, I just, that would never cross my mind. But yes, a lot of these movements have, and campaigns have been uh, in the background run by the establishment. And so there does at some point, sometimes, maybe needs to be some people where they are funded and have, kind of an income from a group of people who are like-minded. And I'm not saying that it needs to be the government. I'm saying a group of people who are like-minded, who put all their money together and then support a handful of people,
yeah,
because they have the charisma. Like, you have charisma, Daryl. Like, people flock to you because you have a particular way of presenting your message your way, and you do what's comfortable for you, right? And I would have no problem sending you $20 a month to support that. Like, what's the big deal if that's what I choose to do with my money? So if there is a group, like there was a group that is sending me to the conference,
mm-hmm.
that is activism then, because then it's like, hey, you know what, we can get on board with this person. You know,
Yeah.
this person conveys the message the way that we all kind of can agree on. Yeah, we might not all, you know, agree on everything, but, you know, as a whole, we could agree on how to deliver activism in a public manner. And I think that we are kind of losing focus of what has happened in the past. You know, that's activism in the past. Where the history of activism. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, uh, people were slaves at one point. Well, how did they get out of slavery? Because they
Yeah.
fought for their
They
freedom.
had to fight the system. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, man. I'm with that. I need to hear on that on that site, Flat Earth 101. Does David have banners available? Because I mean that's one thing that I would like to do. Because Matt came out. He came out. I met him at one point. He was getting some um I forget. I want to say some uh like pipes or whatever to prop up his banner. He
Mhm.
pulls it out, shows it to me and all that, and he's getting a little platform to set up his banner and all that. And I'm like, I need a banner or something so I can get out and do this thing. But I can pretty much just park. Yeah, my man Rich Lopez, he said we got me. Boom. I just need to put the request out, I guess. You know,
Mhm.
yeah, hook me up, man. Let me get a banner. I will compensate you for it. Set that thing up outside the van. Sit a little chair out here, and I'll just chat with anybody. I got no problem with that, man. It's like what I do anyway. But you know, it's all good. It's been good chatting with you, man.
Yeah, I
Seriously.
just posted the link in there. Flat Earth banner.
Yeah.
That is $60, and you know, to go back to Infinite Plane, Dome, Truman Show,
Mhm.
so on and so on. People need a visual. People need a visual. You know,
It's true.
until you come up with a better model or visual for me to go out to the public and share with them, the AE map, you know, I don't know what else. I mean, I might not agree with the Antarctic ice wall. That's
Yeah.
just me. Um, but there could be an Antarctic ice wall. I don't care. It doesn't matter. The Earth is still flat. And to
Yeah.
give people the opportunity to just see what it might look like, I think most people in the chat and who are listening to this right now later on could close their eyes with a pen and a piece of paper, draw out what the United States looks like, right? I feel pretty confident the majority of flat earthers could draw out what Africa looks like
Right.
because it's in your mind. You know it, and I think that is. Let's just play, just for the benefit of the doubt. Um, let's just say that is what all of the countries look like, and then let's go a step further. I think a lot of flat earthers and globe believers could say is that yeah, the Earth is 70 to 75% water. Okay, like let's agree to disagree on that. Like let's just go with that, just for argument's sake, right?
Yep.
Well, if you have a ball with all that water, which is clearly more than half, how do you have curvature? You
Yeah.
know, where you need curvature to have a ball.
Yeah. Pretty much. And it doesn't happen. It
And
doesn't
it just
happen.
isn't there.
Not at
It's
all.
not there. You
I
know,
need.
so if I can
I need.
present to people an AE map, then that's just what we got to roll with for right now. And I even
Yeah.
say with a disclaimer before I show it most of the time, I'm just like, this may or may not be the accurate map, but here it is.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, people want to try to get hung up on that. You guys need a model. I'm like, no, there are already enough holes in the globe. You guys need a model. I'm like, you guys need a model. You know, but at the same time, like, you know, the AE map, it's a tool. It's a tool, just
Mm-hmm.
the same. You know, and people were saying it's not accurate. It's got this flaw. It's got that flaw. Okay, fine. And so does the globe. And
Mm-hmm.
this is a visual representation. And the average person on the street that hasn't even heard about flat Earth, they're not going to be sitting here saying, "Well, actually, I heard about." What about the southern tip of Australia and Africa, and they can see the southern crux in those three different places? Well, what about that? How do you square that? Nobody on the road on the street is going to say that to you just out of nowhere. These flipping
Yeah.
trolls might, but you know,
Mm-hmm.
other than that, man, just the average person ain't going to say that. They're not going to be like, well, I can debunk that. off top. So, no, that doesn't happen with normal people. Just show them the tools that we have, and we can call it good. I see Zoom Truth is in the house. What's up, David?
Yeah,
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 yeah, man. That's a
yeah.
soldier right there. That dude is amped up. I can tell
Yeah,
you that.
he was in a chat before I came on with you. He was like, Josh, you got to mention December 8th. You got to mention December 8th. I was like, yep, I did.
Oh,
So
of
you
course.
missed it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
All good, man.
yeah, and kind of back to that whole model thing and having tools in your belt. Somebody, I hear people say, well, if you're going to use a tool, you need to use the right tool. Well, you know what, bud? You can use a flathead to turn a Phillips screw. You don't need a Phillips screwdriver to turn a Phillips screw. You can still use a flathead. It's not the same tool, but that's the flat Earth map, you know. And if you were to show somebody the connecting flights and whatever from one point where they were at to the next point, I was watching Mac, Flat Earth Fokker, to have a conversation with one of his friends, and I think he's a pilot, and they're talking about how he had traveled from Africa to another place on Earth. And Mac just so happens to be wearing the AE map, right? And then Mac's like, okay, so Africa is right here, and then where's your connecting flight? Just where is it? And the guy's like, I'm not going to talk about this with you. This is silly. This is ridiculous. And Mac's like,
Aha.
well, because why won't you just tell me what your connecting flight is? Just because it might make sense. I mean, just look at it. Like,
Right, right. I talk to people. I use my medallion sometimes. I'm like, okay, so you see, it kind of works like this, and they're like, oh, I'm like, yeah, it's kind of like the UN logo, right? And they're like, oh, huh. I'm like, yeah, almost like they know something,
mm-hmm,
just kind of just being cheeky with people.
mm-hmm, yep,
It's kind of my thing, but yeah, it's like a visual aid, man. That's why I have, I do the same thing. I got the hoodie and the t-shirts with the AE map on it, and I do the exact same thing. I'm like, okay, so if you look at it like this, boom, 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 and I'm like pointing out on my chest or my medallion just the same. It's like whatever we can use just to get the point across, and I do that because that's how I learn. I'm a visual learner. That's why in my videos I like to have points where I'm talking about something and then I'll put a picture up or a video the same time while I'm talking about it, just so you can see what I'm talking about, because that's how I learn. Just the same. So
mm-hmm,
yeah, man, it's necessary to have visual aids. So it works out a lot better. But
yeah,
yeah, man.
yeah. I think it gets to a point where people don't want to be corrected by their friends. Maybe they have pride about them. They have some kind of an ego about them where he doesn't want Mac to show him the connecting flight that would make more sense on a flat Earth
Ha.
than on a globe. And it's like, that person isn't ready to humble themselves because they're drinking the government Kool-Aid right now. And we were probably all there at one point in our life. Like, we really believed that daddy government had the best interest for us. And even along the lines of me looking up flat Earth, I was also born with cystic fibrosis. And so
Mhm.
I was diagnosed with that at 3 months old. And so if you were to Google cystic fibrosis lifespan right now, it's 37 years old. Well, let me check my calendar here. I'm 37 years old right now, and I'm
Oh,
still
snap.
alive.
Yeah, look pretty healthy too.
Thanks. Thanks. I appreciate that. But it gets to a point where how long do you continue to believe what they're telling you? And you have to kind of start to look at your own situation and what it is that you'll compromise. Will you compromise friends and family and coworkers for truth, or will you continue to play the game and just like hear something and then just kind of have it just come off your shoulders like water off a duck's back and kind of just get plugged back in? And for
Oh yeah.
me, sports, like professional sports, was kind of like that, and video games. Like
Hmm.
those were two things that I really enjoy. I love watching basketball, especially within the last couple of years, man. And now it's like you learn about gematria and other things like, possibly people sacrificing for, fame. I don't know, Michael Jordan retiring, his father dies, and he comes back and wins 3 more championships.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, wasn't it? Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that type of stuff. Kanye, his mom ends up dead. Freaking same thing. Bruno Mars, didn't he like sacrifice grandma or something? I don't know, man. It's jeez, some wild
mhm.
stuff going on. With these people selling their souls and sacrificing family and or friends for fame in this world. Oh yeah, did you hear? I got invite from the Illuminati on Instagram the other day.
Hey, right, good for you.
Thanks, man.
Good for you.
Pretty,
You
pretty,
made
pretty.
it.
Yeah, I was pretty proud of that. My response was, "Nah, I'm good." you know,
And they're like, no, you're
Jeez.
not. Daryl
Yeah,
Marvel.
yeah. Basically, I'm like, you have your opportunity. If you want to be influential, if you're a businessman, or this or that, you want fame and fortune, we can, you can join the great Illuminati. I'm like, no, no, I'm
Yeah.
good. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to be 38 because there's a ritualistic number around people dying at 38. And then I saw in the chat people die at 27, and then it's like, yep. So I made it past 27, so I'm turning 38 next year. So hopefully I'll be all right. But yeah, I wanted to, bring up a topic with you about free speech online and these platforms like YouTube and Facebook. You know, how comfortable do you feel about, spreading and talking about topics other than flat Earth? Because it kind of feels like, I don't want to say like they've allowed us to talk about flat Earth freely, but with other topics, they are a little bit more dicey. They're a little bit more picky. And oh, you stepped away. Okay, so um, with these platforms like YouTube and Facebook, I feel like for activism, especially with flat Earth, if we're able to, as a group and a community, take flat Earth activism off of YouTube and off of Facebook and start to present it to the public, that's a venue that they're not really able to kind of manage. They can't micromanage that. They can only micromanage it if you take a video and then you upload it to YouTube or whatever. But as a people, going out 2 by 2, how do you think some of these people got elected recently? You know, they got elected, a lot of these people, because you had people going door to door, right?
Hmm.
Putting pamphlets on doorknobs.
Yeah,
So they know what is effective. Yes, they have commercials on TV. How much is it going to cost to get us a flat Earth conference commercial on mainstream TV? Right? I mean,
right.
$500,000 or something like that for a 30-second, commercial. I mean,
Yeah,
during the
yeah.
Super Bowl, right?
Huh. During the Super Bowl. Oh
Yeah,
man.
right. So yeah, I guess that was just my. Where do you see? Because we had the conversation a couple of months ago with YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Uh, Unauthoritative content is going to be demoted. Where we're going to promote authoritative content, and if you are promoting something that is pseudoscience,
Hmm.
we'll put a little disclaimer on the bottom about the moon landing, for example. Like, where do you see freedom of speech and these platforms going?
Well, I see. We're eventually gonna have to get to a point to where it gets bad enough. Um, as far as the censorship goes, because that's typically when people will actually make a move. Um, that's human nature. It's like we'll stay in a place that we're somewhat comfortable until we're not that comfortable, and then we'll decide to move when it becomes too much to deal with as far as the censorship and you know the uh the shadow bans, the people having their channel shut down, subscribers being manipulated and all that. then we'll eventually migrate to these other platforms. Steam It, DTube, BitChute, Patreon, these other platforms. And I mean, I haven't gone over there either, so I'm just as guilty as hanging out. But like I was having this conversation with Vegan Warrior a few weeks ago. You know, I'm on YouTube because this is where the people are.
Yeah.
Is where the people are. If we as truthers, or whatever you want to call us, flat earthers, truthers, globe deniers, whatever, it's like if we all just head over there and we leave the general population on YouTube, we're in an echo chamber. We're just kind of preaching to the choir over there. So it's like, to a degree, we're kind of at a point where we got to hang out over here until until we get enough people to cross over to the other spots, because they're not going to know about any of that shadow banning and all that. They'll just kind of notice that the true channels have kind of been purged, and it's all just cat videos and tranny freaking runway shows and just ridiculousness, just mindless entertainment and fake news over here. So I mean, at some point we're going to have to migrate over, but still find a way to kind of get other people to come on over to the other side too, where we're not being suppressed, where we're not being shadow banned, and where free speech kind of works out. And then there's also Twitch, like China's saying over here. But I mean, it's it's just a matter of, this is where the people are for right now. That this is, I mean, YouTube's a household name, Facebook's a household name, Instagram, Twitter, that's where most people are. A lot of people haven't even heard of DTube. A lot of people haven't heard of BitChute, because it's like the folks have just, there's these huge conglomerates. I'm like, let's all go back to MySpace.
Yeah, right.
Tom never banned me. Okay. Tom was good to all of us.
Yeah.
Okay. And we left him. Man.
Yeah, we left him in the dust for bigger
Tom,
and better things.
Tom never tried to spy on us. Tom never said we couldn't post this or that. We could do whatever you wanted on MySpace. Tom gave us, we had it all over there, and we just left him, man. I gotta feel bad. But we'll figure something out at some point. I would like to hope so.
Yeah, and that's why I feel comfortable talking to the public and bringing flat earth and other topics to the forefront in public, on public property, which is most anywhere. Your First Amendment right is pretty well protected, and it cannot be infringed upon. And I think a lot of people are afraid to have that uncomfortable ness between two different human beings that have a viewpoint. And usually, more often than not, the First Amendment is gonna offend. Because that is the point. Like,
Yeah.
Your First Amendment is protected because most likely what you're gonna say is gonna offend somebody.
Probably gonna piss somebody off.
Most likely.
Yeah.
So there's three things that I feel, well, I guess four things. I feel like are our inalienable rights as human beings by our Creator. First off is clean water. So if you're not familiar with what's going on in California right now, we talked about Deborah Tavares earlier today, and she has a video out right now that talks about parts of California are using the sewer system as a means to filter that water and then give it back to the public, and they're going to call it pure water. So I want to ask your chat, and I want to ask the people who are listening later on right now, in your mind, think of that. How, no matter what process you go through, I just took a dump in this water, right? Let's even say it's like 3 or 4 gallons of water, and I urinated in it. You filter the water, and then whatever, like if it takes 2 days to filter the water, would you still drink that water?
I'm gonna go with no. I don't think.
No.
Here, let me check the chat. I see. Nope, not looking good. Not looking good for that, man. I just see Chris Upton's like P. Ew.
Yeah.
Fred Carr's like got the throw up emoji. Nah,
Hmm.
man. No, we're not. We wouldn't do that. And
So
dude,
that's what they're doing in California right now. They're filtering water from a sewer plant with human feces and urine, and then offering it back to the public. That is an inalienable right as a human being. I feel on my flat Earth, everybody should have pure, like clean water,
yeah,
clean water no matter what. Okay, clean water. That is an un that is an unlimited resource is water.
yeah,
In addition to that, we should all have the opportunity for clean air.
yep,
Immediately, we should get rid of these chemtrails. That is asinine that we've allowed it to go on as long as it's been going right now. And secondly, thirdly, you should have a right to protect yourself. So whatever that means, Jesus said, and I think Luke 20, uh, sell all you have, even your cloak, and buy a sword. So a lot of people, forget about that. He's flipping tables over, whipping people, and then later on he tells you to sell your cloak, sell your coat, right, and go
yep.
buy a sword. And fourth, every person has the right to say what they want, whether you agree with it or not. I will defend your right to say what you want because if I don't, I lose my right to say whatever I want.
Yeah.
So those are four things that I feel like as a human being here on earth, every person should have an opportunity to do. Because if we do believe in a creator God, then that creator God is going to judge each person for saying what they want, right? I mean, if you want to say that you can identify as a tree, hey, by all means, you're a tree. Good for you,
Hmm.
But if you continue that lifestyle, I feel like, God will convict you and then you'll wake up and be like, okay, that identification as a tree stuff was kind of weird. Sorry about that. But what do you think about that? I mean, because they're taking away clean water and they're taking away our clean air.
Dude, I'm all for natural law, honestly. And I posted the video the other day about how voting I mean, it's a sham because I mean we can, what we're doing ultimately is voting for the two-party system to stay in control. And I feel like we're all at a point where we don't really need someone to rule over us. So the whole system of voting, when somebody says, if you don't vote, you can't complain. I'm like, nah, don't hand me that because I'm not picking anybody. And if you pick somebody that's corrupt, that's your fault because you chose them. I didn't want them in the first place. But I feel like that's all just political theater. It's the whole duality. The both wings are part of the same evil bird. But the same thing is natural law, and that's pretty much what you were saying right there. I mean, look, we shouldn't have to pay for land actually, and this is where I sound like a straight up hippie, but
Hmm.
I'm a human being, okay? We shouldn't have to pay for land. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, you have to but pay for it, and you have to pay your taxes on the land. I'm sorry. Who did the government buy the land from now? Oh,
Right.
okay, right. So, I mean,
Yeah.
as far as clean water. Of course, we should all have clean water. Of course, we should all have. We should be able to grow our own food. We should have clean air. Chemtrails? Are you kidding me? That's man. Look. Okay, now I was about to go off on another tangent there with the chemtrails. We're about to go into a whole nother thing. I'm like, dude, you know the aluminum in the chemtrails, you're breathing that stuff, and then the 5G towers, they send out the microwave stuff, and there's like aluminum inside your brain. You ever see what happens to aluminum? It starts sparking up when it's subjected to the microwave and all that. Dude, that's craziness. It's like they could,
Yeah.
dude, we could be done like that if they actually did that crap, man. But dude, we are sentient beings. We shouldn't have to pay to be here. We were born here. This is our
Right.
natural right. I mean, and they're like, dude, I've heard about the authorities coming to people's private gardens, their own homes, and all that. People are growing grass instead of food.
Yeah.
What? That's and they're like coming to people's homes and they're like burning their garden, like pulling up all their plants and all that. And this is
Can
like
you
little
believe it?
old ladies who have gardens with specified plants growing. Like this herb is for arthritis, this is for glaucoma or whatever, this is for inflammation. And she's got all her stuff pointed out. And the state or the city will come through and they'll like plug up her garden, but she can grow grass. There's not like you can do anything with the grass, but
Mhm.
this is crazy, man. This is crazy what's going on right now. And it's not hard to tell that whoever's in charge is not an advocate of a healthy life at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah,
So
they're control freaks, man, and they want to be in control of the human body. They want to be in control of you and me and everybody else in this chat room. And by our silence, that is our consent. And
absolutely.
so if we can't, that's how this reality works. I don't mean to alarm y'all, but that's how this reality works is your silence is their consent to do whatever it is that they want. And so if people want to sit back and kind of assume that politicians are going to, change everything and they have all of our best interests at heart, well, I hate to break it to you, but you get somebody in there like Jesse Jackson back in the day when Planned Parenthood started all up. Yeah, he was against the eugenics program against the black community, but he got into politics, and man, that money and those women, it caught up with them. And
Yeah.
those lobbyists who give him that money and say, hey, my man, I know that you were saying this, that, and the other, but we got a lot of stuff going on over here. So, and that's what everybody is tempted with. When the devil tempted Christ on the Mount, he was able to offer him all of the land and all of the treasures on earth. Christ didn't turn to him and say, like, you don't have the power to do that. You can't
Right.
offer me everything.
Right. That's not yours.
That's
You
not
didn't say
yours.
that. You didn't
No,
say
he
that.
didn't. No, he's like, it was his. He
Yeah.
knew it was his authority. He knows he has authority over this earth. And I know that as we continue to move forward in this commonwealth of flat earth, there might be people who, kind of sell out to, get money, and people will be accused of being a shill or whatever, and other people will still be genuine and carrying on their message and trying to move flat earth into a positive situation. I mean, think about it. 9/11, think of all the positive songs that came out of 9/11. Let's think.
Hmm.
Hmm. Let's think of all the positive songs that have come out of chemtrails. Hmm.
Drawing a blank, actually.
Yeah. What about vaccines? Any good? Anybody come out with some good acoustic music about vaccines lately?
I hadn't heard any, if I
No.
understand correctly. No.
Well, I'll tell you where all this music is coming from. It's coming from Flat Earth because it's a revolution.
Yep.
And we have a concert that's going to be going on at the conference with Flat Earth music. Isa Mahalski, Flat Earth Court, has some great Flat Earth music. People are genuinely inspired by this topic because they know what it means.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like your Christian, music. There's positive music in that. Yes. Do I think Hillsong United might have some issues with, some one eye symbolism and pyramids and whatnot? Yes, a little bit. I mean, but did they compromise? The message is still there. A person can still get saved in Joel Osteen's church, right? But if they're still there and they're there for 2 years at Joel Osteen's church, that's when you start saying, well, why are you still in Joel Osteen's church? I mean, I know. What are you still listening to Alex Jones still for? I mean, so it's kind of one of those things. But we know that Flat Earth has a positive message behind it.
Yeah.
And there isn't other than what's in our own community, other than what one person says about the map, what one person says about this person and how they deliver Flat Earth and their message and calling them names and calling them a shill or whatever. Yeah, there's going to be that in this community. But as a whole, as a group, if new people coming into this commonwealth can't see the truth that's in this message, then be gone with you.
Right. Right. It's not for you. It's not for you. I feel like we kind of got to posture people, actually, just kind of like, nah, you're not ready. Kind of
Right.
like, you're not ready. Don't even worry about it, man. No,
Right.
really, tell me about it. Nah. It's cool, man. I don't know, man. If you want to hold on to your current paradigm, you probably don't even want to discuss this one. Just leave it alone. I don't think you're ready for flat Earth, man.
Play hard to get, right? Flat Earth is
Yeah,
playing hard to get.
yeah, pretty much. Have them questioning like, wait a minute, no, really. Um, and I mean, just really, really casual, real cool about it. Is how I try to play it. Sometimes I'm a little more fired up, a little more combative in these discussions. When I'm kind of a reflector. I'll end up kind of going back at someone the way that they approach me. That's just kind of how I am. So I'm reacting. I can be cool with anybody, but once we slip into the realm of disrespect, insults, ridicule, I might snap. It's possible. I've been known to do so. But
with that being said, I want to broach a topic with you, and I know that this is a touchy subject for a lot of people.
all right.
But I see this topic within Flat Earth being as divisive as a flat earther and a globe believer. If you know what I mean.
Uh-huh.
A homosexual and a Bible believer. Veganism and meat eaters. Go. No, I'm just kidding. But I see a lot of division there. And I'm saying this in regards to, like, if everybody was flat, right? Okay, if let's say, like, everybody on Earth is flat, veganism and meat eating, I think, is the next topic that people are going to deal with. What do you think?
That's definitely going to have to be a subject that needs to be discussed more thoroughly, because we become legalistic in our ideologies once we come to a conclusion that life needs to be addressed in a certain way. Concerning veganism, certain people have it to where there's a conviction to remain on that path because they're so compassionate about the lives of animals. And there's other people who are vegan for other reasons, and they're like maybe a spouse. Like, I was listening to Eric Thomas when I'm working out. I listen to motivational speeches and all that. And motivational speaker Eric Thomas, he talks about how his wife had cancer, and he went vegan for her. He was speaking about how he doesn't have the heart to be a vegan, because he's not like, I'm doing this for the animals and we need to just live and let live. No, he's not like, he's like, I love my wife, so I'll do it for her. I still have a meat eater's heart, but because I'm doing the vegan thing for her, then I'll just continue that on that path. So everybody's not going to have the same attitude behind it, and it's just the idea that we have to develop a sort of tolerance. Like, everybody's not going to reach the same level of understanding and compassion as we're not always going to be equal on these things. Like, I don't eat meat anymore. I'll still have some dairy sometimes. Sorry.
Uh-oh.
But hadn't had meat in like 2 months or so. So I think I'm doing pretty good. I think I'm pretty much done with meat. So yeah, I'm vegan, but I still need to lay off. I keep forgetting to order my veggie soft tacos without cheese and ranch dressing. I keep forgetting that part. So
I'm
there's
sure you
that.
do. I'm sure it just slips your mind, right? Like,
Dude, like every time, man. I got it like 2 days ago, but today I forgot. I need to like put a sticky note on my windshield. Like, okay, but you know, it's just a matter of tolerance. You know, I'm not mad at anybody. I was watching a video by it was the Bloody Truth. Uh, Another good guy. Shout out to the Bloody Truth. And he was he's on some other topics. He was talking about kind of living an alkaline, more alkaline lifestyle. And he's like, well, you know, I figure if I can do about this, and that, then I'll be pretty much at a good level of alkalinity within my body. But I'm not quite. Nope, can't go vegan.
Mm,
He's like, I love my barbecue too much. Me, I'm like, I'm not mad at him. That's where he's at. You know, if he
mhm,
wants to cross over at some point, that's fine. If not, that's fine. I'm not gonna beat anybody upside the head. I don't really want to beat anybody upside the head with any sort of ideology to say this is what you need to do. You know, I'm like, that's what it is. If you want to, go ahead. You know, look, you can take the blue pill, you can take the red pill. The choice is yours. That's pretty much where I'm at with it. So took a long route on that. So that's what I got. Am I offline again? What happened?
mm. You're fine.
Oh, okay. All right, man.
No,
But
I
yeah,
just had to had a little cough.
oh, okay, okay. Yeah, man.
I'll mute my mic, but um, this is quite the topic. I think that this topic is just as I mean, I don't, maybe for lack of a better word, divisive as
Mm-hmm.
Infinite Plane, Dome, Truman Show, and so on. Cindy Pritchard and Jay Johnson basically on cue had the same thought. If you want to eat meat, kill it yourself. Seems fair.
Yeah,
What do you think about that?
that's fair. I'm not eating meat, so I'm not really gonna go kill it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Do
go
you
ahead.
do you think people are meat eaters because they don't see the process of how
Yeah,
their hamburger gets turned into a Culver's California burger?
yeah, absolutely. It's definitely, you know, the whole thing's been painted for us in this really kind of Pollyanna type of a clean cut. Yeah, we kill our meat in a humane way. I'm sorry if I understand correctly. These animals, if they could talk, they would be screaming for their lives. So I don't really know how you can humanely go about killing something, because they don't want to die,
Mm-hmm.
if I understand correctly. So I mean, it's, you know, more of that word magic, man. It's like they'll say one thing and then get us to believe it, but you know, that's pretty much where it's at, man. It's like, you know, you wouldn't want to go through that stuff. You wouldn't want
Mm-hmm.
anybody that you know to go through that stuff. And you know, saw a video earlier. Vegan Warrior put one up, you know, about how they go about basically raping cows, and it showed the process of a bull almost, you know, about to mount a female cow, and then they like put the little thing over the bull's, you know,
Mm-hmm.
wang. You know what I'm saying? Then so he can go inseminate the female. I'm like, the process is something that we don't see. It's
Mm-hmm.
something that we don't get to see, man. So that's, I think that after a while, if more people were to see that type of situation, um and look at it objectively, and you know, with that much compassion, I think a lot of people would let go of meat pretty easily, actually.
Yeah, I enjoy sushi. You know, I'm not right now. I'm not as convicted about the whole meat eating thing. I know that a lot of I appreciate people and their respect for me in regards to conveying the flat Earth message. Now, would they want me to become total vegan? And yes, of course. I feel like a lot of the people who enjoy watching me, who doesn't enjoy, hearing themselves talk. But I feel like you and I and other people in this community have a particular platform and a way to convey the flat earth message, that some people kind of give us a lot of grace in that regard, and they'll be like, you know, Josh is Christian, and that whole Bible stuff, that's all Freemason stuff. Like, they created the Bible, you know, for mind control and so on and so on. But he delivers flat Earth in a really good way. He has a lot of balls. He goes out there and talks to the public. So I'll give him a little grace. You know, like, D Marble, you kind of take the vegan thing a little bit too seriously. I'm not a vegan, but hey, man, like, that spirit level thing you did for flat Earth, that's awesome. And then they give you a little bit of grace, you know? So I think that we need to allow more grace to each other. Some people aren't on the road for veganism, and or are ready to graduate, you know, if you will. I think a lot of, you know, vegans would probably use that term, kind of, you know, just you graduate, you just kind of wake up to that idea, and you just kind of move on from that, and you don't, you make a conscious decision. Like, for somebody to say, and they claim to be a vegan, where they don't consciously think to order tacos without cheese on it, a vegan would look at you and be like, "Out of here, dude! You're not a vegan."
You
You know,
son of a yeah.
you son of a Richard, right?
I know. I put myself out there. Whatever, man. Whatever.
But, you know, I've had this right here.
Judge away, man. Whatever.
Yep. Judge Judy, get the gavel out, right? But I give this scenario here, and this is, you know, follow along with the story. It is in the New Testament, and Paul talks about this. If I don't eat pork, I do try to go out of my way to eat pork. But if I just so happen to meet a special flat Earth lady, and she was to invite me over to her parents' house, right? And her parents aren't woke. Her parents just kind of eat and, you know, just barbecue and so on and so on. If she wasn't to ask me what I like to eat for dinner, or hey, you know, my parents are going to cook us food, is there anything specific that you know, like, don't like, are you allergic to something? If we don't have that conversation, and I show up to her house and they make a pork sirloin steak meal with potatoes, the whole 9 yards, and they just go all out, and they have, you know, the fixins and everywhere, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say, nope, I don't eat pork. I can't eat this. Sorry, guys. You know, sorry to break it to you. For me, like, I feel to kind of make a scene in that way. I know that this, you know, this is what I do, I guess, is offend people, but I think then it turns into be about me and not about what they did. And you're using for conscience sake, I feel like it would be best to win them to flat Earth, right? Maybe to win them to our Creator, to just go along with it, you know, like, and I don't think a lot of vegans would be able to do something like that. I think that if there was a particular meat, or even like a byproduct of something, was like, let's say, chicken Alfredo, right? And you don't do the chicken, but you do the Alfredo. Well, there's milk in that Alfredo. Oh my God, where did the milk come from in the Alfredo? Oh, it's not almond milk. Oh, and then you lose your mind.
Yeah.
I think for conscience sake, I think a lot of vegans would miss out on an opportunity to, you know, win them over for flat Earth. What do you think about that situation? Would you make a scene?
No, I rarely make a scene. Honestly, dude, I'm like really kind of reserved, not the rah rah type, just wanting to cause a ruckus. Dude, I just go along with it for a little bit, you know. And I mean, I do this at my office, you know, because they'll have a potluck, and it's like there's one lady at the job, she plays like with scratch tickets and all that, and she'll win a couple $1,000 every now and then she'll buy everybody in the office like a full spread meal from KFC. She's got the chicken and the biscuits and the potatoes and the corn and the coleslaw and all that stuff. And you know, I'll you know, they're like, hey D, you gonna grab something? I'm like, yeah, give me a minute. You know, I'll wait for everybody to grab their stuff, and then I'll go get a plate, and I'll get a couple biscuits, some mashed potatoes, some gravy,
Yeah.
some coleslaw, and I'll head back to my desk. With my sides. And nobody says anything about that. But no, I'm not gonna like make ew. You all are sick. You're eating chicken. I'm not. No, that's not my thing. But it's like what they say. You're gonna attract more flies with honey than vinegar or something. I don't know. Actually, you get more flies with poop now that I think about it. But anyway,
Yeah, that's what I said.
yeah, I'm like, well, wait, hold up. Nah,
Okay.
so it's like a more general approach where you'll kind of just um kind of blend in just for the sake of staying in good standing with the audience in order to maybe draw them in later. So that
Mhm.
makes a little more sense to me, honestly. So
Yeah.
so yeah, no, I wouldn't really cause a scene.
Okay. Yeah, good to know. Because the chat is fired up, you
Oh
know.
yeah, chat's freaking out, man. The chat is freaking
uh,
out, and
I,
that's fine.
I do think that the whole infinite plane dome and everything, other than chemtrails, I really think that veganism is the biggest next step for flat Earth. And a lot of people say, well, what's next on flat Earth? What's next for flat Earth? And it's like, well, you're over here. So if you're asking that question, you're not part of the club, first
Yep.
off.
Yep.
So you got a long ways to go. Because for me, my opinion in activism, and I'm wearing the Flat Earth Vegans shirt that they sent me. God bless you guys, John and Jen. I can't wait to meet you guys next week.
Mhm.
Awesome. I wear their Flat Earth vegan shirt in activism videos in the past at the lake. I totally understand where you guys are coming from, and I don't think a lot of people are vegan because they've looked at. I think a lot of people are vegan because they've looked at the videos of how massively produced animals are. I think there is a lot of disrespect of how they do animals. Um, Fish, on the other hand, I even think a lot of vegans might kind of say, okay, I won't twist your arm all the way till I break it if you just eat fish, but
Yeah.
I still think that there's the animal byproduct. I'm eating gummy bears right now, and like the fifth ingredient is gelatin. Well, where does gelatin come from? Pig.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, and I gosh, I ate a whole bag of gummy bears one time on one episode that I did at the lake. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. But, I feel like there is our own personal policing, and I don't know how far it's going to go in this community where vegans are going to be able to accept meat eaters and vice versa. I think within the community, this is going to be one of those topics that, um, if I mean, let's just say, play devil's advocate. If there was a way for us as flat earthers who like meat to be able to uh, spit it out, slaughter animals properly, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Would people accept that? But I saw a comment before saying, unless you kill it yourself, fuck are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
Like don't. That's gross. Like, do you know how that happened? And it's like, so what do you think? Like, can flat earthers um, slaughter animals and then offer it up in the flat Earth Silk Road, right?
Right.
What do you think? Like,
Oh, I'm sorry. I was blocking somebody in the chat to say something
yeah,
stupid.
no,
My,
it's
my,
all right.
my
I was
bad.
just saying, like, if we were to come to agreement about flat earthers who still want to eat meat, could vegans be appeased by being shown a more humane way to slaughter an animal?
Um, no, I don't think so.
Okay.
I
That's
don't.
your own personal, or that's what you feel the community would
No,
think?
no, no, no. I'm, dude. I'm not gonna get in anybody's face about their personal choices that way. I mean, if
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a matter of how are we going to approach this. We're not all going to come to an agreement at the same time about everything. That's not going to happen. But You know, I'd like to think that there could be peace at some point, but it's just a matter of attitude and how much research has been done. Just the same as, excuse me, flat Earth versus globe Earth. It's like sometimes we've come to a point to where we've done so much research and we're looking back at these globe believers like with the side eye, like, dude, are you really believe this stuff? You're an idiot. I mean, we'll get to the point where we just looked at every aspect of the globe, picked it apart, and we're like, no, that's stupid. You have got to be out of your mind. You're a brainwashed zombie. Okay, get out of my face. And it's like the vegans that have done enough research and watched enough videos. What the health? Watched enough slaughter videos and all of that.
Yeah.
And it's like they've seen a lot of stuff that non-vegans, meat eaters have not seen. So they have a
Mhm.
completely different approach to veganism than they do, and they'll come in kind of hot. You know what I'm saying? You come in too hot with your message, overly passionate about it, you're gonna turn somebody off. And
Mhm.
that's why we got people making videos that are like kind of anti-vegan. You know, people like, you know what?
Just
These
eating
people,
raw meat on camera, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
good idea. Let me know how that E. coli works out for you,
Yeah. I'm a flat
knucklehead.
earther and I'm gonna eat raw meat on camera. What do you think?
Yeah, smooth, real smooth. But yeah, I've seen that stuff, and I'm like, it's just about the approach, man. And
Mhm.
I've always said this: it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Mhm.
You know, that's that's pretty much it. How you convey the message, that's gonna have the biggest impact as to whether or not somebody's gonna be receptive. Because if you can you can you can be you can be right. How was this said? Somebody said you can be right at the top of your lungs but still be wrong. It's like you're screaming all the right information at somebody, but they're still not going to hear it because you're screaming at them. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So
Mhm.
and we all have a, it's like once you approach someone the wrong way or you offend them, they will shut down. Whether or not you can be absolutely right, you could have the moral high ground, you can be spitting out the most um immaculate facts about the topic,
Yeah.
all day. But if you're coming at them the wrong way, they are not going to hear you. Period. And
Mhm.
so it's just all about the approach, man. So I say for the most part, live and let live, and let people figure things out, at their own speed.
Yeah, and it goes back to love, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
and compassion.
yep.
Yeah.
And if you're a banging gong and you're trying to convey a message, it's going to lose its power to influence and to help somebody see the wrong or maybe look at something a different way if you're just making noise, right? But you have to be able to convey a message in a manner of love and respect and not expect to change somebody's mind right away. And I just posted a documentary on Amazon. You can go to your own favorite streaming site if you'd like, but I just posted it on Amazon, just so people can be aware of it. It's called Eating Animals. It just came out this year. It's about 90 minutes or so. It's narrated by Natalie Portman, and it
Mm,
just kind of goes through a process of, you know, people who struggle with massively producing cows and chickens and pigs and turkeys and how to be able to do it in a sustainable type of environment. But when you have companies like Tyson and even to so as far as right now, Beyond Meat, if I go to oh, what's that burger shop? I can't remember off the top of my head. My Burger. Go to My Burger. You can order a vegan meat. It's the burger that it's a Beyond Meat burger where it tastes like real meat, right? Because maybe that's just what your fan of Tom Brady who watches football every Sunday.
mm-hmm.
If you go out on Sunday and you're gonna do takeout and you're like, hey, hun, what do you want to eat? and he or she says, yeah, give me a burger, and then you go to My Burger and you order one of the Beyond Meat burgers.
Yeah.
You bring it home, you have them eat it. Who's to say that they would know or not? Because it tastes pretty damn good.
Okay.
I've had these non-meat burgers, and they do a pretty good job. And that topic is discussed. Where do we need to um, come up with ways to trick our minds so that we can eat what we think is meat, but it's really plant-based, so that we can just stop, doing what we're doing to animals. Have you ever tried any of these vegan type burgers or anything like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think about them?
They're all right. They're all
Yeah.
right. It's a good substitute. Um, doesn't taste doesn't taste exactly like meat, but it's fine. I'll have a burger at Applebee's. They use the Morningstar patty, but I heard some bad stuff about that, so I kind of
Yeah. Uh-huh.
haven't messed with that in a while. They're like, it's got soy, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, gonna cut back on those. Actually, thank you very much.
Mhm.
I can't have anything, so it's been mostly fruit lately, to be honest with
Okay.
you. Like there's a
Okay.
farmer's market up here, and a very small organic section, and I'll just pick a few things out of there and just try to call it good, man. Other than that, you know, just relaxing. But
Yeah, because I know that there's another, like, what is it, like, test too, like creating meat in a laboratory. That's another topic too, and I don't mean to, I don't want to use that. Would talking about veganism or non-veganism and keeping on talking about it and then using the idiom, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but here's another topic,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But in lab-grown meat. So instead of slaughtering an animal, what if you're able to just take the DNA or whatever from the animal and then grow it in a laboratory, and then boom, you got a steak? Is that okay?
No,
No, okay.
dude,
I'm just
I'm not.
trying to.
Dude, I don't trust that crap. No, I don't trust that for a second. I'm like, what's the genesis of this lab grown meat? No, no.
I don't know.
These are the same knuckleheads that are finding ways to inject chemicals. I'm nope. Lab grown meat? Absolutely not. I'm not going there, man. That sounds disgusting. Honestly. Yeah, we can grow our own meat from stem cells or something.
Uh huh.
That's disgusting. That's disgusting. Um, yeah. Ugh.
All right.
Ah,
Well,
you got me.
well, I
You got me all messed up with that one because
yeah.
I'm sitting
Well,
here thinking about meat being grown in a petri dish, and then
yeah.
people
It's like a
eating these fake burgers made out of fake meat, and
yeah.
ah,
It's
dude,
like a
no.
chia pet. It just poof, and then it's a
Yeah,
steak, right?
yeah. I'm
Mm,
like,
cha cha
nah.
cha chia,
Yeah,
cha 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 steak.
that's a no. That's a
You know,
no. I'm not going there. I'm not even going to
just
try it.
add water, dude. It's like it poofs out. Like back in the day when you put the quarter in the vending machine
Yeah.
and you bring home the little dinosaur and then you put water on it and then it
You
grows.
yeah.
Yeah,
I remember
that's your
that.
steak.
Yeah, dude. Like what's that? What sea monkeys?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Nah, man. I'm
Yeah.
good. I'm good. That is gross. I'm not even gonna entertain that one.
All right. Well, when everybody is a flat earther, we'll deal with the whole veganism thing. Until
Yeah.
then, right?
Yeah,
Until then.
I guess, man. I guess. We're not gonna get there. We're not gonna have complete saturation. There's still gonna be some holdouts. There's gonna be the trolls that still try to hold on to it. There's gonna be people who have their egos involved, who have spent years literally making anti-flat earth content, who are not gonna be able to swallow their pride and come around. They're still gonna be trying to hold on to defending the status quo, and they'll be left behind as we continue forward in our new flat order.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. And just to kind of go off of that idea is I really do think a lot of the people who are vehement about globe Earth, outer space, science, what do you know? You're not a 20-year college veteran, and you're not educated enough.
Oh
I
yeah.
think those people are going to be left behind. I think that this, however it was introduced, whichever agency you feel it was introduced, flat Earth is not going to go away. It
No.
is not going to go away. Everyone will become flat Earth, whether you like it or not. We are not going back to the globe. We will not. I don't think that the establishment is going to allow people to go back to the globe at a certain point with this celebrity. So, you got any guesses for the celebrity? I mean, do you think that the celebrity guest next week is going to have any momentum behind them to, help, kind of push along flat Earth? Do we need help?
Hey man,
How about that?
I heard it was gonna be Eddie Bravo and Joe Rogan.
That's
That's
what
what
I
I
heard
heard.
too. Yeah.
That's what I heard, man. And we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. We'll know in a week, dude. So
Right.
we will see. We will
Hmm.
see. I'm I don't think they're gonna show up, honestly. But then again, Robbie said, "Hey, we do got some big name folks." I'm like, "All right," and I was like, "Who is it? Who is it?" He wouldn't tell me. I was
Yeah.
like, "I won't tell anybody, man. We're fine." He's like, "Nah, I can't do it." I'm like, "All right, it is what it is."
Yeah.
So we'll
Well,
just
I don't think it is Joe Rogan or Eddie Bravo. And the reason why I say that is Robbie Davison was on Patricia Steers' show last week, and he said something I think a lot of people missed. He
what's that?
said that this person who is coming, is the celebrity, has not openly or publicly talked about flat Earth.
Okay, so it
And
wouldn't be
both of
either of
those
those
two
guys.
people have talked about flat Earth publicly.
A
So,
lot, a lot.
yeah, quite
Yeah.
quite a bit. So, I guess that's the only thing I would say. I have no idea who it is. Do I care? I really don't care. Have them come out for 3 or 4 hours with me on the street, and let's see what they got.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We can hang out.
Otherwise,
It's
yeah,
fine.
you know,
We'll see, man. We'll see. I'll be like, hey, what's up? I'm the spirit level guy. What's happening?
yeah,
you
right,
know,
yeah,
was good.
exactly.
Was good. You're
Yep.
in my world now. No.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and he's got like 400 pounds, 9 foot tall security guards. Be like, what's that? Whose world are we in, D Marble?
Yours, guy.
Your, yours,
you
whatever
yeah.
world it is you want, man.
We're like, yeah. I'll be like, I was just playing with him, man.
Right?
Get out of here. What are you doing?
Yeah,
Somebody help.
yeah,
you know yeah, man. But hey,
right.
we're way over 2 hours, man. Let's
Yeah, it was
go
fun,
ahead and
man.
wrap this one up, dude. But yeah, man, hey, good talking with you. Looking forward to hanging out at the conference next week.
Looking forward to it. Really can't wait. I hope half of your listening audience is going to the Flat Earth International Conference
Hey,
next week.
I'll be trying to stream a little bit so I can keep in touch with everybody. That's kind of my thing. I'm trying to do more vlogging on my backup channel. So tune in for D Marvel Live, where I'll be doing more personal stuff on the
Yeah,
backup channel.
right on.
Just hanging out, doing quick videos after I work out, and just sharing thoughts in passing, things like that. But yeah, hey everybody, yeah, if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe to Josh's channel, Authentic Intent, and this has been D Marvel and Joshua Swift. Got any parting words, sir?
Yeah, I do.
All
Here
right.
with the topics that we have talked about. A lot of diversity. I love the diversity in our community. I love that we're able to know that the earth is flat and know that we have different minds that are all flat earthers. We need that because every person will deliver flat earth in their own way. And you're going to reach somebody, in the chat. China Miss Jones, thank you so much for all your positive words. I missed live streaming with you guys. Man, we had some fun times in those live streams, man. But you know, one person is going to resonate with one person where I'm not even going to, right? Like me, like I'm just some guy in Minnesota, but I'm not going to be able to communicate flat earth to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But this person over here will be. And we all need to play our part and do our thing. And just for now, just put veganism aside, put infinite plane dome aside for now. I know these are really touchy subjects, creator Bible or creator somebody else. But with all that being said, I have a quote for you from F. Scott Fitzgerald. The test of first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposed ideas in the mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function.
Mm-hmm. That's where I live.
Yeah. So.
That's kind of where I live, man. I like it. Yeah, because I mean, we have to find common ground, and that's what this is all about, in my opinion. You know, we're
Yeah.
not going to agree on every little detail, but we all know this ain't a globe. We all know we're not on a
Right.
spinning ball, and I think
Yeah.
we can all agree on that at least, and use that as a foundation. You know, again for the 50th time, live and let live. We're not always going to see eye to eye. Not all of us. We're not all going to see it a certain way. So, it's just a matter of finding the common ground, having mutual respect, and moving forward from there. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
absolutely, man.
Yeah. And
Thanks for that.
once everybody's flat, then we can be at each other's throats, right?
Yeah, yeah. Until then, let's go ahead and get at the throats of the powers that shouldn't be, and
Yeah.
start tearing down this system that they built around us on this flat plane. That's kind of where I'm
Agreed.
at with it. So, all right, man. Hey, thanks for hanging out. Looks like folks enjoy the chat, man. Special
Definitely.
special thanks to China Miss Jones, Gina Espinoza, and Seth Bopp. Sure appreciate you all. And thanks to everyone in the chat. Hope everybody's having a great night. We'll be back tomorrow night with the weekly wrap up with myself and Vegan Warrior. We got some fun topics. We're going to have some fun tomorrow on the wrap up, folks. 6 p.m. Pacific time. Be there or be sphere. All right. And this is D Marble and Mr. Josh Swift, Authentic Intent.
Cheers, everybody.
All
Good
right.
talking to you guys.
Hey, thanks, man. Have a good night.
Yeah.
As
Thanks, man.
always, folks, be good to each other. Take care of yourself. Stay flat. See you next time. Thank you.